Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Players Take episode 315. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined as always by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you doing this fine week?
I'm tired. This week went by a lot faster than I thought, but
Yeah,
here.
I feel like the weeks are doing that lately. They're going by pretty quick for me. I'm already at 7 weeks from my injury, and it doesn't... It feels like it hasn't been that long, but it has. Here we are. I'm like 2 weeks into physical therapy too, so which is good. It's good stuff. So yeah, but we got board games this weekend. You excited?
Yeah, actually I am. I just need
Play
to get
some-
away. So
Actually, I am. Like you normally aren't. You just dread it. You're like,
no,
oh,
I don't
God,
dread it. I
I
don't
gotta go to
dread it.
Justin's house.
I just don't know how long sometimes it takes. Sometimes I don't want to stay there until. No offense to y'all. Sometimes I just want to get home. My social battery kind of drained.
Bro, I'm with you. I'm 100. I'm like, look, I have tamped it down significantly from earlier in this like run we've had playing board games for the last like decade plus.
Yeah.
And like earlier on, me and Jet were psychotic. I would stay at his place till 4 a.m., bro, driving home, getting into the house, into bed at 5 a.m. Amanda's like, what the fuck? Waking up or whatever. Now I'm with you, dude. 11 hits and we're like getting to the combat, and I'm like, bro, this is what happened last time. It was 11 p.m. We finished the story and we got to the combat, and I'm like, nah, I'm calling it, guys. Get out. Like, go home. You know, because I'm like, we're gonna be here till 2 a.m. You know, or at minimum doing this, and I'm like, no, I want to do something else with my night. But what ended up happening was they just stayed until my house till 1:30 anyways, and we just sat
What?
around talking. So,
Oh,
you know,
okay. Yeah.
so,
I think that's
you know,
I think you know what? I think it's like the board game fatigue. I look at the board game because we're there. I'm having
Yeah.
fun with it, and then it's
Yeah.
like, but after like 5 hours, I'm like, all right, we got to do something else. Like, you know, like
long sessions, right?
yeah. I think once we get done with Oathsworn, I'll be so okay with like playing multiple board games in one night.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
switching
Taking
it
a
up every
break,
once
taking
in
a break from the campaigns, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, you know what's funny though? The funny thing about that is I started playing Hero Quest solo this past weekend, and I did 2 scenarios, and they take like maybe an hour to 2 hours each. They're pretty
Okay.
simple. They're pretty simplistic. So that's why I recommend that game as our next game, because it's so simplistic. I will say it's very repetitive. I have a feeling Jet's going to get bored of it, because it's literally at a certain point you're literally just moving and throwing dice. That's it. That's the game, you know.
Okay.
There's not a lot of thought going into too much. There is, in certain ways, there is some subtle strategy to the game actually. Interestingly, but there's no like, your characters don't really have skills. Like they do, like some of them, like they have like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 things they do, but they're not repeatable things a lot of the time. And usually it's literally just add 1 extra attack die to one of your attacks this turn, you know. It's not like an ability where you're like, push 4 enemies 5 spaces that way, you know. It's not like, you know, there's not like that kind of strategic depth to Hero Quest, generally speaking. So yeah, I think Jet would get kind of bored, because there's not much for him to chew on. But for me, I'm kind of like, I need a refreshing game like this, because I'm tired of these games where we sit around and think about our turn for 25 minutes and then we spend 5 minutes actually executing the turn, you know. And it's like, I just want to play the goddamn game, you know, and actually make some progress. So
Which funny is that's why I think I like Mage Knight so much, because
Yeah.
even though it has like the complexities of all that we just said, and it's kind of complex, we understand that game fast enough to where I can just like, all right, I'm doing this, and that's what it is, and that's it.
Well, the game encourages you in the rule book, and we've all learned how to do this, is you think about your turn while everyone else is taking theirs. You don't sit there and watch Jet take his turn, or you take his turn, or me take my turn. Like, you're like, okay, what am I doing? You know? And like you spend the 15 minutes or 20 minutes it takes for the whole table to take their turns for your next turn, thinking about what you're gonna do. By the time it gets
Yeah.
to you, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
um,
I think that's why I like Mage Knight so much. If we can play it, if Hero Quest is like a fast pace, but like you can take turns, and I like battling people and stuff like that in board games. So I like
yeah,
that type of
yeah,
thing. If Hero Quest is like that, then I'm down for it.
it is. No, it literally is. Like each of you would control a hero. There'd be probably there'd be like one community character that you guys would move if the three of you were playing. I would play the dungeon master in this game, probably. So it'd be the three of you controlling heroes against me.
Okay.
And then yeah, it's basically just move, attack. You can search rooms for secret doors, traps, and treasure. And it's like that's as simple as it gets. Like
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
really not a
I
whole
kind of like
lot.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else you're doing. And then your characters, like I said, they'll have abilities maybe. Some of them can cast spells. So they'll have spells they can cast that do different things, but they're not hyper complex spells. It's literally like put a monster to sleep until he breaks the sleep or he gets attacked. It's like that kind of thing. It's not like
Okay.
these fucking crazy moves where it's like move forward 4 spaces, and if your movement wasn't interrupted by a figure, jump over the enemy, and then you attack them in their rear. And if you hit them, if you get a critical strike, you push them 4 spaces. It's none of that shit. Like, dude, it's literally you roll the dice. Did you hit? Yes, no. That's it. It's like so. That's kind of why I'm thinking that'll be a very nice game to come down from Oathsworn with, because we could like do a couple scenarios of that, and that would take us 3 or 4 hours, and then we're like, okay, let's play Catan or something, for the rest
Yeah.
of the night.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're not
Yeah.
playing the campaign the entire night. So yeah, so I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, but we're close. We're getting there with Oathsworn Montreal. We're gonna hit chapter 15. I'm hoping we're gonna finish it, and we're gonna be on chapter 16 by the time we end on Saturday. That's what I'm hoping for. And if that happens, I'll be ecstatic, because that will mean we're down to 6 chapters, I think, because it'll be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yes, 6 more chapters. Can you believe, like, can you even fathom that we're actually at that point potentially, after this weekend? I can't. So it's it's good. So we're getting there, but looking forward to that. What else is going on in life, sir? Anything interesting?
No. No. Deli has to go to the dentist, and Silas has eye drops. So that's fun.
What the fuck? What happened to Deli's teeth? She get like
I'm a, I,
pain or something?
no, she has to get them clean because her breath fucking stinks, and we have
Oh,
no idea why her breath stinks so bad. So we
okay.
went to the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, just take it to the dentist to get her teeth clean. So my insurance covers. I have like pet insurance, so my insurance covers that or whatever. And then Deanna's insurance covers Silas and his water drops for his eyes because he has really bad allergies. But the Zyrtec that we
Oh,
were giving him
yeah,
wasn't really working.
yeah,
So they just gave us like some eye drops for his eyes and stuff like that. So that's it.
yeah, man,
But I
yeah,
wish my wife would tell me she's taking him to the doctor. Because I woke up this morning and
yeah,
she's like, she told me last night I gotta get up super early. I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I went to bed and then I woke up and I heard Silas doing this cry, and I haven't heard the cry in a while. And
yeah,
it's like the cry when he's in the basket, when he's in this
yeah.
little
He's like, whoa,
yeah,
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
And
The
I was like,
owl,
what the
yeah,
I was like, why is he doing that? So then I saw Deli run back in the room where I was at because I was getting ready to go to work. And she
oh
ran
no,
back and she kind of ran behind me. And then
yeah,
she kept looking back. And then my wife was coming back and then she ran into the bed. I was like, why is she running into the bed? I was like, did she poop on the floor or something like that? And then she was like, no, she didn't do any of that. I'm taking her to the doctor. And I'm like, oh, so she must have saw you put Silas in the carrier. And she was like, yeah. So she act like she opened the back door like to go out to garden and stuff like that because Deli likes
yeah,
to go out there. So
yeah,
Deli kind of like came from under the bed or whatever. She's like, when you see her, grab her. So I just kept doing what I was doing. I act like I was doing anything. Then I swooped her up. She
yeah,
didn't fight her or anything. Swooped
yeah.
her up, put her in the carrier, and then that was it. So I kind of betrayed their trust today, but
Eh,
it's all good. I came back
yeah,
home and gave them wet food, so they're all good now.
yeah. You got. I mean, dude, when we took Miss Kitty to the emergency vet a few weeks ago, like, did I tell you this? Like at the end, they were giving her shots at the end, and they stuck her with 2 of them, and she was okay. And then the third one hurt like really bad, I guess. Like
Yeah,
she like kind of she went like, "Meow," like or whatever. And
yeah.
the vet was not holding her tightly enough, and she fucking got away and got underneath some cages they had in the room that were like on wheels. And dude, we spent almost an hour trying to get her out from under there and into our carrier to take her home. And bro, I've never seen Miss Kitty angry like this. Like she was growling and hissing
Wow.
like crazy, dude. She was being like really nasty, and she was doing it to me and Amanda too, you know. But it wasn't specifically to us. Like we had a broom we were trying to move her with, and she was getting really mad at the broom.
Yeah.
And eventually we moved the cages around that got her out, so she like ran around and Amanda was able to pick her up, and she was totally fine once she got into Amanda's arms. I was able to pet her. She was totally like fine. She was just
Okay.
mad. She was like really upset. You know, she had a rough fucking day. Like she had been prodded, poked. She like pooped herself while we were giving her an ultrasound, you know, and like she was having a rough day. She had her belly like shaved or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So she had a pretty rough day. So it was just sucked because it was like she was so good the whole day. She didn't hiss or bite or anything on the vets at all until this last moment. Like, and it was like I was like, damn, because it was the last thing they were doing, and we were gonna take her home. You know,
Yeah.
so we never seen her like that though. You know, where she was that mean and angry, but then we got her home and she was totally fine, like normal, happy. She was like rolling around on the floor or whatever, you know. So
Yeah.
it was just, you know, she just didn't want to be at the vet anymore. So
Yeah. So I definitely get it, and I don't like seeing my pets like that. But I mean, by the time I got home, they were fine. I mean, they were greeting me at the door when I came in and everything like that.
yeah, yeah,
The my wife came back home. She was greeted by them at the door and everything. So everything's fine. It's just I know they don't
yeah.
like vet day. We normally
Nope.
take them once a year. So
Yeah.
um,
Nope. They don't. So all right, well, let's get into the show proper. We actually do have a lot of news today. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01 at gmail.com. All right, Macho, let's get into what we've been playing. I'll start first here. Been playing a lot of Wuthering Waves this week. So there was a patch that came out yesterday, 2.2. Yesterday during my lunch, I literally caught up with everything that was available in the game yesterday before the patch came out. So I had done every quest that was available. I 100% explored every single zone in the game. I had done all the side activities that I could. There's like a couple things left that I hadn't finished. Some boss challenges that I haven't finished yet. So I had pretty much totally caught up. Patch came out yesterday. I'm now at the point where I'm caught, quote unquote, like caught up with the game. So I'm planning to do the 2.2 content. I'm going to complete it as much as I can. And then, yeah, it's really just like the game's like on maintenance mode at that point for me. From a play standpoint, like there's just not a lot of reason to log in and play besides doing your dailies and stuff.
mhm.
So I'm kind of at that point with the game, which is good. This is kind of where I wanted to get to, because then I can like put the game down and like play some other shit, like do other shit. So that's kind of where I'm at with Wuthering Waves. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it. New character came out yesterday. I did not roll on her. They were doing a rerun of another character that I rolled on. I actually got her, and then I got her weapon as well. And I still have a shitload of fucking currency saved up for the second half of this patch banner, for another character that they're rerunning that I want to get. So I'm feeling good. Wuthering Waves is feeling good right now. I'm like, you know, I don't have I'm not like I have enough currency to like guarantee a character for sure, basically at this point. If I don't win the 50-50. So I'm in a good spot. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot with the game right now. So feels good. So I'm enjoying that. Played a little World of Warcraft, Turtle WoW. I'm just kind of like, I have this like twink rogue that I made. I'm like slow playing it. On the weekend I play for like 2 hours maybe. That's kind of all I've been doing with WoW right now. So doing that, still enjoying that. and then we'll talk about my last game when you get through your game. So, what have you been playing this week?
So I didn't really play Monster Hunter Wilds. I was normally trying to log in and do dailies, but I forgot a couple of days to do it. Um, it's whatever. We're gonna talk about the title update later. But I have been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive
Yeah.
edition. So I will be honest. I forgot about a lot of this story.
Yeah.
I got to the part where I met the I'm not spoiling anything with this, but I met the Manons, and I was like, I don't remember these fuckers. Like I
What are you
don't
talking
remember
about?
it.
You talking about the cat people?
No, the little fucking gremlin people.
Okay.
Like they
Yeah.
look like little gremlins or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I completely forgot about them, to be honest with you. I forgot they moved into the city and everything. Like I forgot
Yeah,
about
man.
that entire
There's tons of
sequence.
like alien races in the game.
Yeah, man. I just completely forgot. And I think what happened is I never really beat Xenoblade Chronicles X. I got really far and I stopped. And I think I got to the part right before I get like right after, either right before or right after I get the mechs. Or whatever. But yeah, so what I figured out about this game and why I can't recommend this game to like newer players of the series of Xenoblade is this game combat is the same as Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but way more faster. Obviously,
Yeah.
you always talk
Yeah.
about that. But the thing is, you don't heal in the traditional way. There isn't really a traditional healer. There are people that have healing spells, but you mainly heal through the soul voices. Now they made soul voices way more accessible in the definitive edition because when someone says like, if Emma says, "Hey," or Elma rather says, "Hey, give me a attack or whatever," now it's time to strike. She will say something like it will be highlighted orange, and I don't know if in the regular edition it was like that. If it highlighted it didn't. Okay,
You needed
so
to
yeah,
know what color skill you needed to use.
okay, there it is. Well,
Yeah.
it's highlighted orange for you this time, and now you can pick an orange attack or a physical attack. And then someone says like, "Hey, give me a put some lead downfield." That'll be the range attack, and they'll highlight yellow, and obviously your yellows are the range attack, and so forth and so forth, so forth and so on. Also, with the overdrive, they gave you 25 seconds instead of 15 seconds.
Nice.
They made it way easier to actually do color coordinated stuff with the overdrive. Obviously, like with blue and red, or with blue and purple and yellow, they give you a little graph on the side there, or a key rather, a legend rather, for you to know what's going on and why you would do what you would do. Like, so if you do triple, oranges, that will give you more. That'll give you a XP bonus. If you do triple range, that'll give you, or double range, that'll give you a class XP bonus or something like that. Doing your overdrive, which essentially is your chain attacks. Their version of chain attacks, but they don't really have chain attacks. At least I didn't get that
It's more
far.
like a limit break mode, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's more like a limit break mode. All your things are on cooldown and refreshing and everything like that. So I think the reason I had struggled with this game in the past is because I wanted to play the game. I wanted to play it, and you have to play the game. Monolith Soft made this game to play it the way they want you to play it, and that can turn a lot of people off. I don't mind it, but it can turn a lot of people off. So the way the game is designed is there are these thresholds that you have to meet to progress in the main story. So you can't.
So that's
there is
still
no,
there. They didn't take
that is
out.
still there. Yep.
Okay.
So you can't golden path this game at all. The game forces you to do side missions, and what I figured out during that time is the game. There's so many quests available. Um, the way the game is actually structured, I'll be honest with you, it reminds me of Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah.
I never really made a comparison until
Like
now.
an MMO.
Yeah, I never made it.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I kind of got the feeling that they wanted to make this game an MMO because the more I play it, the more I'm just like, man, this is a fucking MMO.
Yeah, it's the most MMO-ish of the Xenoblade games. They all have bits and pieces of it that feel MMO-ish, certainly.
Yeah.
I think that falls away the deeper into the series you get. Actually, I think the
Yeah.
earlier games feel more MMO than the later ones.
Yeah.
But I think in X specifically, the reason you feel that way is because there's literal multiplayer lobbies,
Yes,
in the
that's another
game.
thing I was going to get
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
Uh, the game actually feels really good with multiplayer, especially when you do your overdrive, and the other players know how to do their
Oh,
overdrive and
really?
stuff
So
like
you've
that.
been playing with other people?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's sick, dude. That's cool.
Uh, so the game really feels like that. I man, I really want this game to kind of pop off. I think if Nintendo really put their minds to it and put my lips salt to this, if we get a Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade X2, I think X2 should be a pure MMO. I think this would be
Yeah.
probably one of the best MMOs, like kind of rivaling Final Fantasy 14. Because it just has that factor to it. If they were to like branch out and actually do PC games, I think this could be one of the first games they actually port to PC, in my opinion. This game would do wonders on PC.
Oh
I
yeah.
think PC players love this game.
Yeah. It's very
Um,
Fantasy Star.
yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
another good point. So I'm just playing the game and I'm just like, man, like I'm noticing a whole bunch of different things and everything of that nature. The story it's a story, but the world building is really good in the game. The more
Yeah.
I learned about the world, the more I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually really cool. Uh Obviously your characters are created characters, so you talk, but you don't talk pretty much. You answer like little questions and stuff like that.
So,
Um
question for you.
mhm.
Did you not do a lot of the side content before? You just did enough to get through the story?
I did enough to get to the story.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you dude, okay. I did everything in this game when I played it
No,
back in the day.
no. So
There's
I had real big issues with this game.
yeah.
Which is why I always wanted to come back and play it because I love the
Yeah.
combat. I just hated everything else about the game. Um
Okay.
and yeah, and I'm a huge mech fan. I'm like a really big mecha fan. And this is a mecha game as well.
Yeah.
So I love the aesthetics of the game and everything of that nature. I just hated everything surrounding the game, like the mission structure and everything. So once I put all that, this is really why I wanted to play it again. I didn't want to go through all the stuff that I had to go through, like with the emulators and all that stuff, because then I'll get even more pissed off, like just setting that shit up and then trying to play the game or whatever. So this is why I really wanted a definitive edition so I can get like fresh eyes on it. Also, this is the second game I played in Xenoblade. Um, me and Xenoblade have a very complicated history as well. I didn't really play Xenoblade like that until Xenoblade on an N3DS, and I forced myself to play it. Um, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
That's got
then
to
I
be the
went
worst
back.
place to play Xenoblade, by the way.
Yeah, um, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Obviously, I beat that game. I love that game. Um, and I thought it was the best game until I went to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 again, and I really understood how to play the game. And I was just like, holy shit, this game's really fucking good. There was no thresholds. It was just pure
Yeah.
story, pure combat, pure exploration. It's a pure JRPG through and through. It's a single player MMO JRPG through and through. Um, and I love Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gives me strong Final Fantasy 14 vibes with the aesthetics of Fantasy Star. Um and now that I'm playing this game, I finally understand it now. And I was watching the video. I didn't watch the whole video. I just watched like maybe 2 minutes of it. And the guy said, Xenoblade Chronicles changed my life the way I play video games. And I kind of agree with that first statement. I didn't watch the rest of the video, so I don't know what the else the fuck he said. But Xenoblade Chronicles, as far as a JRPG, um, changed the way I approach video games now. I really don't judge video games now off the first 5 hours of a game. Because if you judge all these games off the first 5 hours of the game, depending on where your mindset is at, I think Xenoblade Chronicles 1 has the strongest opening. Next to
Yeah.
3. 3 has a really strong opening as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
2, horrible opening. I don't care what no one says. That's the weakest of them.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
and then obviously X. I don't think it has a strong opening as well. X has a really bad opening actually.
X is
Um,
X is really slow. to get
Yeah,
going. Yeah,
yeah.
really slow.
And they gatekeep a lot of. You don't unlock your full kit, and I to be honest with you, my full kit's not even unlocked yet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
obviously
I
you
mean,
know
you don't
that.
really get the full kit until you get the mechs either. So,
Yeah, exactly. So
I
it's
mean, it's
like,
like 40 hours of the game. I will say the beginning of X reminds me though of, and come with me here. This is going to be a weird comparison, but of Star Ocean 4's opening. Um,
okay.
did you ever play
That's the
Star
last.
Ocean 4?
That's the
The Last
last hope,
Hope?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one that was on Xbox.
yeah, yep,
That game also has a really slow start where you don't have a full party for a really long time. Like it takes hours and hours before you like kind of permanently have a full party in that game.
yeah,
And you spend like the first 10 hours kind of like in the story not knowing what's going on. You're kind of at your own planets you don't know, like you're trying to explore and understand these things. It's very similar with X. Like the first 10 hours is really like the characters kind of exploring, trying to understand the planet they're on and like the ecosystem they now find themselves in and shit. And there's like little hints into the bad guys and stuff, and you do run into them a couple times, but
yeah,
um, it's not like the main focal point of the early part of the game. So it's like it's similar in that regard. And I've kind of I've come to appreciate the both styles, like because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 like immediately throws you in the shit, right? Pretty much. Like there's like maybe a 2 or 3 hour opening that's a little quiet and kind of getting things set up, but then it kind of explodes in your face.
yeah,
Um, and then so you're like right into the main crux of the plot right away. I kind of appreciate the slow burn though in sci-fi a little bit more. I always love the concept of being like on a planet you don't know, like it's not a charted world, like it's an uncharted planet or something like that, and your ship is crashed and you can't get off the planet or whatever.
yeah,
I always enjoy that concept. Star Ocean leans on that very heavily in almost every game, but I've always had a soft spot for that, so I enjoy that next personally. But
yeah, and and that's why I said like it kind of changed my approach. I had to
yeah,
with X, I had to approach it like, okay, these characters, the reason why it is slow because we had to take everything slow. We crash land on this planet. We only be on this planet from when your character wakes up 2 months.
yeah,
We only be on this planet for 2 months. We don't know shit about the planet. We don't know anything else. Um, so let's get going. And that's what the game is. And obviously you're learning the characters and everything of that nature. And I actually like the character development of the side characters because that is the main focal point of the game. The game isn't your character, it's the main focal you're seeing this through the lenses of your character who is like a clean slate. So you are the character. Obviously you can't really talk that much. So they just tell the story through the other characters and then the world building, which I think is
mhm,
really cool. Honestly. Um, so I'm honestly taking back how much positive reception the game was getting because this game forces you in the era where people have so many options and they don't have to conform to the way you want them to play the game. I'm actually surprised
yeah,
that people are taking to this game and they're like liking. They're like, but there are some threads out there, and I don't even beseech the people or get mad at them. They're like, I can't get into this game, man. Like I tried and I can't get into it. And
yeah.
as a person who took almost 20 years to get into Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade in general, or 15 years rather, or maybe 10, maybe 10 years.
You're not that far
I'm not
off.
that
Like
far off. Okay,
Xenoblade 1 came out in like '08 or '09.
yeah, so maybe
I'll
about
say.
10 to 15 years, maybe.
Or maybe I'm
Um,
off. No, I think it is 15. I think it was 2010 actually. I think you're right.
okay. Um,
Yeah.
I understand that sentiment. And I also understand why people are so reluctant to get into the series.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean, they're
I
huge
think
games, dude. I don't blame
they are
anybody
huge.
for saying this game has too much content. It's too much for me. I'm just not going to touch it. I can't blame anybody for that, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But the reason why I really want DJ to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I think it's the most accessible. Two, it's you got like 3 hours of like a tutorial mission, and then you're like you say, you're in the shit. Three, I think has the best villains out of all of them. Maybe three counters that a little bit.
No. Okay. I agree with you. There's one exception. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, there's one specific villain that is fucking
Oh, okay.
awesome.
Yeah,
For the
okay.
period of time he's in the
The
story, he's fucking
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Uh, but otherwise, I do agree with you, actually. I do think 3 has really strong villain
yes.
cast.
I think 3 has a really strong villain cast. I think the party cast in 3 is really strong as well.
I think it's
Um,
strong in one as well. I love the
no, no,
party in
it's
one, dude.
you
Yeah,
know this
it's tough.
it's strong in 1 as well. I think 3 is just my preference. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
someone
yeah,
came
yeah.
to me and
Yeah.
was like, "No, 1 has the best," I wouldn't argue that at all because Shulk. I think Shulk, Ryan,
Ryan
and Charlotte have a
Dunban.
really Dunban. They have a really strong and then Fiora, obviously, they have a really strong connection and everything of that nature, and you kind of feel that like right off the bat. Um, but yeah, I don't know, Xenoblade Chronicles X. It just took me a while to butter up to the characters and everything of that nature.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
because some of them are pretty shallow until you get to know them, and I
yeah,
think that's the way the game is. Like, you have to get to know these characters. You just their energy is just not going to come out to you just like that. Now, some characters' energy come out, like Lynn. Her energy, she's comes out pretty strong, right? Because she's the youngest one. She's like 13, so she really doesn't have a filter on her as far as like certain stuff she says and everything of that nature. But other characters, like this one character, I'll mention. You meet Doug like an hour or hour and two into the game, and you would think this character's like, oh, this is going to be the asshole character. But then as I get to play with the character and I'm like learning this character, because the way they introduce him, he crashes a mech. He slams his fucking like he crashes making a test flight. He slams his fucking helmet down once he gets out of the skull or whatever. And then he's like yelling at Lynn, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I thought you tested this shit out. Blah, 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 blah. He's like a real asshole. Lynn is only 13, but she's like
yeah,
a mechanical prodigy or whatever. Um, but then, like, as the game goes on, like, you just really call him at a bad moment. He's actually like a really nice guy. And then, like,
yeah.
the other guy that you do beat, I forgot his name already. Lao. When you meet Lao, he's like the cool, like, oh, I'm the cool, like, laid back character. You're like, oh, like, he's like a really cool laid back character. But then you get to know him. He's actually like, everyone's like, yeah, he's like super undependable. He's not dependable at all. But then you learn in his story some of the stuff that had happened through other characters of why he's like that. And you're like, okay, I kind of understand why you are the way you are, or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that being said, I still think the combat is the fastest. It's not the best. I take that back. I know I've been saying that. I don't think it's the best combat. I think 1 has the best combat. Um, I would
Really,
2 has the best combat in my
I really
opinion.
think X like refines one's combat though. I mean, I guess I haven't played in a long time, so it's just memory
It
speaking.
it
But
does, and the classes are really cool. I do. But I appreciate. I would rather have the chain attack over the overdrive. If they can
okay,
do a chain attack overdrive thing, I think that would like change my opinion on it. To me, overdrive is completely busted. I know how to because I know how to exploit it. So that's my fault. I know how to exploit overdrive, especially when you're playing with twin blades or
Twin Blaze is so OP in this
yeah.
game, dude. It's so
And you
broken.
just and you upgrade Ghost Walk.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if you upgrade Ghost Walk during your overdrive, you can't get hit. And I can, as a level 30, I can take out like level 60 monsters in overdrive. That's
yeah.
how good I am with it. So it's completely broken or whatever. And obviously, like I'm gonna branch out and try other classes because I want to, or whatever. So I do
I
think
think
that's
you
the
just
beauty.
missed. I think you just missed the quotes, dude. It's time for a chain attack.
Yeah, it's true as well.
Done bad.
And
Shulk.
yeah, that is another thing too, right? I don't think this
Yeah,
game has memorable quotes when I'm fighting. Like I don't really care what the
yeah,
characters are saying.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
I'm so focused on the soul voices that
yeah.
I'm not really enjoying just like, backslash, and all
Oh,
that shit
it's
like that.
rolling time.
Yeah, it's right on.
Charlotte. Oh my fucking god, I love One's cast, bro. They're so good. Yeah,
And I did get
yeah,
that from like even Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I got that type of stuff from like, all the cast
yeah,
and everything of that nature.
yeah,
Um so yeah, like that's my assessment of it. I think it's a good game though.
yeah.
And I wouldn't blame you if you want to wait for the Switch 2 to come out and play it. I think I'm gonna still play it, but I'm gonna take it as a slow burner. Until because if what DJ said is true about the Switch coming out in a couple of months, then yeah, I
Yeah.
could just play it on a couple months
Well,
as well.
I want to play through the series again and do all the DLC and everything. But dude, with the Switch 2 coming, I gotta imagine there's gonna be 60 FPS patches
Yeah,
for these games post launch, and it's like I really should just wait. I think until that. I mean, there's no evidence Nintendo's necessarily gonna do that per se, but
I
I
think
want
they
to
are.
wait and see.
These are their most popular RPGs in
I
my
feel like
opinion.
Monolith Soft is gonna do it. Like they're just gonna
Yeah,
do it. They're gonna say, "Fuck it, let's do it." You know, we love these games. We put all of them on Switch. You know, they're literally all on the modern hardware. So why not give them some love? But yeah, dude, I don't disagree with anything you're saying about X. Honestly, I think X is a specific game that hit me at a specific time that it just was the perfect game in that moment for me. And
hmm
I feel like this game is built for the way I play JRPGs. It's just I am not a story mainliner in JRPGs generally speaking, unless I don't like the game. Um, so I like to do all the side quests as they come up in JRPGs. You know,
okay.
I'm not the type of person that waits till the end of the game and does them all then. I fucking hate doing that. If I get to the end of the game and there's 20 side quests that I have to do before I fight the final boss, I never do them. I just go fight the final boss and put the game away. Like I'm that kind of player with this stuff.
hmm
So Xenoblade Chronicles X's gating actually works for me because it's telling me, "Hey bro, go do some side quests." So then I go do side content in this game, and I will say, from my point of view, I think Xenoblade Chronicles X has some of the best just side quests, exploration in any JRPG I've ever played. And it
Yeah,
all works really well together and it comes together as a whole in like a really beautiful way. And if you just it's very easy to get lost in it once you start doing it. Like you go out in the world, you start exploring the hexes and what's in each hex or whatever, and it's like it's really addicting actually to like fill the map in, you know, and see that percentage go up, that completion percentage go up and stuff.
yeah.
And
No,
yeah, good.
and yeah, I agree. I feel like that's what I kind of lost my point. I lost myself in my own point. When I was trying to say like the game forces you to play it the way it wants you to play it, but there's a method to the madness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type of person I get very very overwhelmed when I see a whole bunch of icons on the map, or a whole bunch of like
Yeah,
side questing on the map or whatever.
yeah.
The thing is though, I don't have to do them all. And this game kind of teaches me you don't have to do them all. We give you levels because we want you to play the game and we want you to explore. Like there are certain things you have to explore. You have to explore a certain percentage of land before you can progress in the main story. But they give you the side quest. Like they kind of not necessarily hide them for you, but like they're the closest to you. You're like, okay, they're the closest to my level. I have to go to this land anyway, so I'm gonna do them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was exploring so much that I know like Primoria, the mainland, like the back of my hand now. Like I'm like, I don't even
Mm-hmm.
need to look at the map. I just know where stuff is at now. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I know how to get there
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I do like it from that aspect because the game teaches you how to explore, um, and when to explore and what to explore. And then yeah, like you said, like the nodes, getting the gathering nodes and all the other stuff like that. Uh it's very addicting because I do find myself looking at my map. I'm like, okay, is there a node around that I can use to kind of
Well,
put
there's
some more
something
hexes
in
on the
each
map?
hex. You just know that, right?
Yeah,
Inherently, like the way the game's designed. So yeah, you'll be in the middle of a spot on the map, and you're like, "Is there something here that I should be looking for? Like, is there some
so
chest or a quest or something? You know,
I
it's
think
like,
that is a new thing with the game as well. They actually show you what's in each hex, whether it's a tyrant, a treasure chest,
oh,
or a node. Now they will show you that.
actually, they may have done that in the original game too.
Okay.
Thinking about it, it would tell there would be I think I remember there being an icon and it would be like a class of like it might be a chest, yeah, and there's like a hidden item or a chest or something that you find
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. So
something
they
like
do,
that. So I think I do remember that actually.
but the game does give you better tutorials on how to look at this stuff. I remember in the old games they really didn't tell you too much. They
Yeah,
do give you better
yeah,
tutorials on how to look at the stuff though. So
yeah. Okay. And what about the soundtrack?
oh
You
yeah,
love it?
soundtrack's still good. It's still one of the best. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so fucking good, bro.
Yeah, they didn't change the soundtrack at all, which I'm happy they
Yeah,
didn't do that.
yeah.
So
There was no need to touch any of that. The Because yeah, the overworld themes for each area are they fucking rule, dude. Like they're all good. And it's so awesome to just be running around and you hear like the Primordia theme playing,
Yeah.
and it's so good, man. So I don't know, you get me kind of excited to play it, but it's no, it's a
I
great
still
game. I just it's for a certain type of player though, for sure. It's
yeah.
you
Yeah.
need to be willing to embrace side content. Like you can't be a golden path person. Like it's the game literally won't let you do that. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, if you treat it like an MMO, which is what I started doing, you have a way better time with the game. And once I started doing that, um, yeah, I just started having a lot more fun with the game and everything. So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
when I originally played it, I did everything in every area. I did every hex on the entire map, Montreal,
Oh
except
my
for
god.
except for one, and it's like the final end game boss. That is really hard. It was like a level 100 enemy. It was super difficult. And
Okay.
you needed to make like a really powerful skell to be able to fight it. And I never did it because it was too much. I would have had to sit there and grind for like hours and hours and hours to get the parts, and
Okay.
I didn't want to bother with it at the time. And now maybe this time, maybe I beat that thing, you know. So, but
Also, I will say that with the addition of the follow ball, it makes the game so much more enjoyable to explore. Um,
what is that?
actually like a node or a ball that leads you to the path of your objective or any objectives you want to go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so think of like the fucking the spirit flies, what are those flies are called in Monster Hunter?
Scout flies.
Yeah, the scout flies. So it'll take you to the area that you want to go to. So I think that's a really welcome addition. It even does um like if you mark materials on the map that you may need, or not on the map, but if you mark materials that you need to build a weapon or a part or something like that, it will take you to those parts, like the animals that have those parts in the world, or whatever the case may be, or the
Oh,
drops where they drop at. So it's
oh, that's
really good.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice. Cool. Does this still have the missions you can join in multiplayer? Like you can just like go into a lobby and do like a quick mission
yeah.
with
You don't even have
people?
to go into lobby now. You can do it straight from the menu.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
They made a lot more stream. They streamline a lot more stuff. I'm not doing it justice how much stuff they streamline, but it's a lot of like quality of life stuff that we know that you may have wanted from the old Xenoblade game.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I think our suggestion to DJ is probably right. He should probably do this game last.
Yeah,
Because while it would make sense to play 1 then X because that was like release order. I don't know what they did with X in terms of story and stuff. So I don't want there to be like things in there that could, potentially spoil the other games. So um, I think 1 through 3 first, and then you play X. Probably makes the most sense. But
yeah. I have a feeling he's gonna like two more than one. I think I know DJ. I think he's gonna like two more than one. Um, but I don't know. Shulk has that Naruto kind
well,
of
are you
protagonist
saying from a
feel.
gameplay standpoint or story?
Story standpoint. He might like one better than two. I don't know.
Because yeah, gameplay wise, I don't know. I feel like he'd like 1,
He'll like one
but
better. Two
yeah.
requires a little bit. Not two is weird. Two is if you know how to unlock the spear grid, the combat gets significantly better.
I think my okay. I'll explain this way. 1 and 3 are intuitive, and X are intuitive. You can learn the game by playing the game. 2 is the type of game where it would benefit you a lot to go watch a YouTube video of how to do the combat.
See, I feel like that about X though. I feel like X is the same way. I think the overdrive is and the soul voices are really confusing for people.
Yeah, but I don't know how necessary they are. Like I don't think X is really that hard, you know.
It can be hard for people. Well, like I just coming from my experience, I didn't understand the soul voices when I
Yeah,
first
but like you
played
just
X.
said, dude, if you understand overdrive and how to use it, you can kill a level 60 which, by the way, in the original game, the max level was 60. You can kill a level 60 enemy at level 30. Like, that's how broken your character can be. So, fighting things on your level, like, if you don't understand overdrive, you should be fine for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean,
but yeah, I would agree with you on 2. I think 2 is like, oh, I bet you didn't know about this. Is the combat too slow for you? Go into your spear grid and unlock cancel blade arts for this, and that will allow you to do this with your blade arts
or the skill that fills your fucking your art gauge, so you can use an art immediately. Because remember, at the beginning of the game, you have to sit there and auto to use any skills at the beginning of combat, and that's for a while. That's
you had to learn how to cancel the autos. I was canceling the autos. Yeah.
Yep. Correct. So yeah, no, 2 is fucking obtuse as shit.
That's true. I forgot all about that. Yeah, that's true.
I don't understand why it's the most popular, other than the fact that it's the one that I think most people played first. That's the only reason I think people like it.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
It's like an Uncharted 2 versus Uncharted 3 situation. Like if 3 came out before 2, 3 would be the one everybody loves, you know?
Yeah.
Because to me they're like equally good games, you know, great games. So yeah, it's the same thing with Xenoblade. I think if people had played 1 first, everybody would love 1, you know? But you know, they just happened to play 2 first because it was on the fucking Switch, you know? So
yeah.
I don't know. But
it's the most, in my opinion, it's the most lewd of all of them. Like they have the most
Gooner
characters.
Bait.
Yeah.
Gooner Bait. Yeah, you want to talk about Gooner Bait? I didn't mention this with Wuthering Waves, bro. The latest character, Montrell. Go do a Google search of Cantarella. Canteralla. I think is how you spell it. You want to talk about fucking Gooner Bait, bro? Lord have mercy. Yeah. So, but no, Xenoblade Chronicles X, great game. If you're the type of person who likes doing side content or MMO like content in a RPG
character,
yeah, bro. Oh, I know, dude. It is fucking crazy. I think X will be fun for you if you like that stuff. So
yeah, yeah.
All right. Anything else you're playing, or is that it?
That's it. Besides PUBG.
Okay, PUBG. How are you feeling? 2 weeks in.
2 weeks in. I'm still having fun with the game. There are some frustrations. Obviously,
the reasons we quit are bubbling back up, aren't they?
you know, yes,
it's not as bad as
it's not as bad though. It's not as bad. I will say it's not as bad.
Yeah.
There are some questionable stuff though. Obviously, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't trying to say anything last night, but duos is the worst queue in fucking
it's
FPS.
Awful. Oh my god, dude, that was miserable. What in the fuck was going on, dude? Like, dude, it's like people were like doing the weirdest shit. They're like, you would be coming up to their building because you know they're there, and then they would just stop moving in the middle of the house and wait for you to open the door, and they're just ADSing the door. Like, in the middle. Like, they're not even behind cover, you know, because they don't want to move. They don't want you to know where they are, you know?
Yeah.
The whole sound meta in PUBG actually really annoys me. I don't like how audible everything is. I think it's too much, personally.
Yeah. I don't, and I know people are manipulating it some way, because there have been 3 or 4 instances where I will be standing next to Jet, because I know sometimes Jet always complain about no audio, but like I can hear certain people from across the map. But then like it was one time we were in Palace and someone flanked them, and I was like, dude, like I didn't even fucking hear that person myself. Like I legitimately, and then it happens to me sometimes where I just get no audio at all or whatever.
Well, and then we watch enemies like yesterday, right? In Palace, actually, me and Jet were sitting in a corner. He was reviving me, and he revived me. And the only sound that either of us made, because neither of us were moving, the only sound either of us made was me using a med kit. and the entire enemy team, based off me, the sound of me sticking myself with the syringe, they all heard it and knew exactly where we were standing. It's fucking insane, dude. It's like you can't even twitch and people know. Like, I've had situations where I like moved slightly while crouching and the enemy knows exactly where I am the second I do it. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
so
what the fuck? Like,
you
what the fuck?
remember when I was separated from you guys in Varkindi and that happened to me?
Yeah,
I was behind the enemy team. I was behind
yeah.
them for about at least 5 minutes, and then they were about to take off. So then I thought they were gone, and then I moved one step, and they all turned. I watched the replay. They all turned back around and looked exactly where I was at, and just
Yeah.
like rushed me. I was like, dude,
Blasted
what
you.
the?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, I agree with you. The sound is absolutely insane. Yeah, something about duo queues though, it makes it worse. In my opinion, I mean, granted, I was playing horrible yesterday, for the first half of the session,
Yeah.
but I was just like, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just like weighing the team down when we playing duos or whatever, because like I'm always getting killed, and it was like this with Jet too. Like I was like, dude, I don't understand the duo meta at all, and I was just like, well,
Well,
then
I
it's
don't think I
happening
do
with you.
either. We were not playing. Like, I don't think I was playing well either with you, because I was playing it more like squads where I was kind of like away from you, and like,
Yeah,
no, we weren't super close to each other. And when you got knocked, I didn't like rush right away, which I probably should have, because it's like there's no one else to cover. It's just me, you know.
yeah.
So I need to be there a little bit faster too. So it's like it's just a different mentality, man. I really prefer squads. I think squads is really fun. I may try solos at some point because I do want to see. I think it's probably going to be better than duos, but yeah, duos seems sucky, like bad, not fun. So I don't know, but in terms of other things, though, I will say some of the issues with the PUBG creeping back that are creeping back in. They're not. They're tolerable though. Like, is what I'll
Mm,
say. Is the whole me and you, I think specifically, have been really trying to drive us towards not landing too far outside the zone, because I cannot stand playing PUBG when it's this kind of game every game where we loot for 20 minutes. We're so far from circle, we need a vehicle. We drive in, we drive somewhere. The second we stop, an entire team looks outside their building and fucking blasts us, and we're dead and the game's over. Like, I can't stand PUBG when that is the gameplay loop. So,
yeah,
like, me and you, I think specifically, have been pushing us to land hot a little bit more, and
yeah,
that has been really fun and working really well for us. We're winning. We're actually winning a lot of the time, surprisingly. A couple of those games in Palace yesterday were fucking awesome. Like, we had really
yeah,
great games.
yeah,
And like the Pochinki game, I think we had, coming out of Pochinki, where that game was crazy on Erangel. I had like
yep,
7 kills or whatever the fuck. Like, it was fucking nuts, dude. But it was super fun. Like, we ended up dying and losing, but I had a blast though the whole game. You know, it's like we were
Well,
constantly fighting. We
that whole
were fighting
fucking
another
vehicle
team
fight
in
was funny.
vehicles. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we were fighting another team in a vehicle. They were in a vehicle. We were literally right next. Dude, it was like a movie. Like you crashed into them on their left side, and they crashed into you. And then the two guys were out of the vehicle shooting at us, and I was shooting at them, and I fucking knocked like 3 of them. It was crazy. It was so insane. It was so fun though. And then so yeah, there's been some really fun games though as well. So I think PUBG is kind of weird in the sense that the pendulum of, or the spectrum rather, of game enjoyment is really wide. Like, there can be
yeah,
games that are miserable, and then there can be games that are just like a fucking blast, you know.
yeah,
And I've never experienced a game where that spectrum is so wide. It's very interesting because a lot of it comes down to the way you decide to play. You know,
yes,
the
yeah,
choices that
exactly.
you as a player make. You make the game more miserable by doing certain things a certain way. You know. Um, Now, there are situations where other players and other teams make the game miserable because they like know exactly where you are at all fucking times. They just seem to know exactly where you're going to come out of a fucking like cover, or they're like, even when they're like 300 fucking meters away, you know. They'll do the shit sometimes. So there's some of that still. We definitely have run into some hacking situations, things
Yeah,
that we think are
it's definitely been
hackerish, you know.
some hackerish type situations. Also, there is a weird bug. It happened to me yesterday. When we landed at jail, I
Yeah.
think, or prison or whatever, and I reloaded my weapon, and my weapon was fully reloaded, and I'm mashing my fire button, and my character would not fire at all within
Yeah.
that little second or whatever, and I died because of that. And I have
Yeah.
no idea, it's like a bug or a purposeful weapon jam or something like that. That really irritated me. And I kind of
Yeah.
emulated it once before. It's like if you reload too fast and try to shoot, your gun kind of freezes up. So there are
Mm.
still little bugs
Yeah,
like
that happened to
that.
me too once.
Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah, Jet's main character syndrome is actually crazy in this game. Like it's very real. I don't know if you're feeling it as much as I am, but every time he gets knocked, he just says like, "Bro, get me up, get me up, get me up." Does anybody have smoke? Get me, even if it's like the worst location imaginable for him to have been knocked. Like he's in the middle of a fucking open field. He's just like, "Get me up, get me." It's like, bro, I've listened enough times where I'm starting to piss myself off because I'm like, I shouldn't have gone near his fucking body. That was the dumbest thing to go try to revive him, but he's like, yelling, come revive me, bro, revive me. And it's like, you want to be a good teammate, or whatever. But it's like the stupidest decision you could possibly make. And I've done it like 5 times and I get pissed every time I do it. And I'm like,
I get really
so
upset.
I've kind of stopped doing it a little bit. I'm trying to actively stop myself from doing it if it's not a good idea. But
Yeah, I will say, like, with that, I think we just gotta like kind of groom him to it, into like calming down a little bit. Because there have been certain situations where I'm like, hey man, I'm safe, or Justin's safe, or Salty's safe. You can revive them. Like you don't have to like try to like 1v5 it out,
yeah, and
bro.
he's still fighting the enemy team.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
you can revive us, bro.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell him to fall back. I'm like, hey Jet, fall back. Like we're pushing you, pushing way too far, out. He's like sniping the enemy team or something like that. I'm like, bro, just fall back. Like, come on with us. And
Yeah.
he doesn't
Yeah.
fall back or whatever. So
Yeah.
there have been certain instances or whatever. I mean, I've done it sometime, but I definitely have noticed it a little bit more with him a little bit. I remember
I'm just
saying
poking
things.
fun. Like
Yeah,
it's not a resentment building or anything. I'm just
no, no,
poking
no, no,
fun.
no, no. I know
It is noticeable though. It's funny. It's funny.
it's him. That's
Yeah.
been him since like when I've been started playing Apex with him. Like I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
is what he does.
He does this in shooters. It's really funny. It's like a shooter
Yeah,
thing with him. He doesn't do it in League, really.
at all. He doesn't
Um,
do it in League at all.
yeah, it's really funny actually. It's funny behavior to observe because he doesn't really do it in League. But I will say, I am actually learning to play this time. Like when the first time we played PUBG, I think I just was like, I was such a like bash my head against the wall until it works type player. I didn't like learn how to play really well in PUBG. I'm actually
Mhm.
learning the mechanics though this time around a little bit better. Like I'm learning, I've kind of learned that ADSing for short range or even mid range is actually kind of not the best idea a lot of the time.
Yeah,
It's really hard to control your weapon, and there's a lot of weapons that work better hip fire than they do ADS. And the ump being a fucking Jesus Christ, that weapon is so broken. Um, so that's kind of something I've learned. I will say too, dude, my sniping skills right now, I feel like I'm at peak. Like I have never been hitting headshots like this in PUBG, bro. Like I'm like a fucking assassin, man. I feel so good when I do it. It's nice. It feels great. Hitting a headshot in PUBG with a Car 98, there's nothing like it, bro. There's just nothing like it in video games. Like it feels so
yeah.
good.
I'm still trying to get used to that weapon. I just don't like that weapon. I don't like none of the single shot, the bolt action guns.
They're so good, bro. Oh my god. Oh, they rule. I love them. I don't know. But yeah, no, I feel like I'm more effective with the snipers though than I am short range for sure. I feel like I'm more of a long range player in PUBG. I am getting better though. Like the SMGs are really good. I think all of the 9mm ones are really really strong.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
like they're super good. I'm actually like kind of meh on the ARs. Most of them,
Yeah,
like they're good. They do more damage, but I feel like they're
no,
hard. They're really hard to control.
yeah, their spray
Um,
pattern is insane.
yeah,
Especially like
yeah,
the M4 and stuff like that. Their spray pattern is really insane. So I usually run a DMR SMG now. That's usually my main like go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the game feels good. I like the maps for the most part. I think even Miramar I can stomach. I'm not in love with it, but
Yeah,
you know,
so I think the problem isn't Miramar. I think it's the way we play Miramar. I'm not landing far. I'm not landing at the edge of the map on Miramar at all. Like that's my
yeah, I don't think we
that's
should. Yeah.
yeah that's my like my foothold on that. Like I'm standing by that. And if y'all want to go far, I'm just gonna drop in the middle of the map and die. Like
Well,
I
because
don't want to
dude,
go far.
I no, and I think your logic makes sense, right? Because the maps aren't all equal in this way. Like some of them are, and Miramar's one of the worst in this. Is traveling the map is harder or easier depending on the map. Like
Yeah,
Erangel is really flat and does not have a lot of divots. So even if you're on the outside of Erangel, it's really easy to get inside if you have a vehicle.
yeah,
Because you don't have to worry about the terrain like changing and having all these peaks and valleys and shit. Miramar is a fucking nightmare to drive. Because it is constant peaks and valleys. There's little hills, little lips, little dips. There's just constantly anywhere you are on fucking Miramar for the most part. So the map is miserable to traverse for the most part. So I agree with you with Miramar for sure. Like I can't stand the idea of landing at like Campo Militar or something, or fucking even the prison on the bottom part of the map. Like I like that zone to land in, but I don't want to land there because I don't want to travel on the map. It sucks.
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I'm definitely with you on that, for sure. And that's something I think, honestly, I think we need to drop hot more and just learn how to play, and we'll actually get better at the game doing it that way, and we'll get more games in too, ultimately, probably.
yeah.
Um, and that's probably the better way to play, anyways. So, but
Yeah, I
I
like
think the
dropping
new
hot.
maps. Oh,
I,
sorry,
I,
good.
I was gonna say I like dropping hot. I've been trying to force us to drop hot since we started playing. Like I don't want to drop in the little shit anymore. I just want to drop
Yeah,
that. So now I
yeah, and
get
it's
Jet's point.
working. It's
I
working a lot though, dude. Like we're doing pretty
yeah,
well.
and I get his point. Like he wants to learn the map, but I want to learn like maybe the center of the map. I don't really want to learn the outer skirts of the map at all, in
Yeah,
my opinion. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, like I agree with you. I think we should continue to drop hot or drop semi hot. If we think it's way too hot, then we can always bail out to the little shit and then run into the city and kill people, which I'm
yeah,
down for. I'm always down for that. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. And I think all the maps are good. The new ones are fun. I like a lot of the new ones too,
yeah,
actually. So, it's just it's just annoying that there's so many maps, you know. Because there's only a rotation of 5 at any given time. So if there are maps that you really like, you never get to play them basically because they're not necessarily always in the rotation. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying it though. I'm having a good time with PUBG. So we'll keep playing. I think Jet's asking us if we're getting on tonight, so
yeah,
we probably are. I'm sure.
yeah. I told him I am. So he said he's not getting to.
All right.
He said
Fair
he's not
enough.
getting to a Pantheon party. So we got to kind of hurry up and not wrap this up. But
Oh my
let's get to the
fucking god!
stories.
No, fuck him, bro. What the fuck with this shit, dude? Oh my god, yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I gotta rush the podcast because Jet's gonna go play Pantheon. I mean, I have a million other things I could be doing. I don't have to play PUBG.
I'm just fucking
So,
with you, Justin.
fucking bullshit motherfuckers trying to manipulate bullshit. Whatever. Anyways, all right. Is that all you've been playing?
Yes, that is
All
it.
right, let's get into the fucking news. We got a good
Oh
amount of
yeah,
news this week.
and our
Yeah.
one game of League went really well too. By the way, that's
Oh
it.
yeah, we did play League one game. 19-1-8. First game in like 5 or 6 weeks. Jin
Yeah,
just dominated, bro. It
yeah.
was
He
beautiful.
got buffed. And it was really good. I played Swain. My first time playing Swain. It was really good.
Yeah,
So
and it was good. You had a good game too.
yeah, but okay.
But
I'm sorry. Switch 2. Let's go.
all right, switch to. All right, so there's been Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming revealed some information about Switch 2, which there's a Switch 2 Direct next week, so he's doing this in advance of that. And he heard a lot of stuff at GDC, is what he said. So um, he's saying that from what he's hearing, Switch 2 is going to release in June. However, it's going to have a 3-phase kind of strategy for launch games. So the first phase is going to be on launch, first party games, pretty much only. The second stage, he's saying will happen in October, November will be third party games. And then the third phase will be in the holiday period. And this will be basically everything else, is what it sounds like. So, I mean, Montreal, I don't necessarily think, I mean, Tom Henderson's a pretty reliable reporter with things he leaks, generally speaking. So I don't necessarily, as long as the sources he's talking to know what they're talking about, I believe this is true. I mean, the sources could be wrong, of course, like they might not actually know. I
Mhm.
mean, realistically though, this makes sense, right? Nintendo announces, like, reveals the Switch next week, kind of shows us, does the deep dive and gives us a release date. I mean, June makes sense. I mean, when else would they do it? They can't release this thing in the fucking fall, dude. In my opinion, like that's too late. Like too late, But
Yeah, I think it's par for the course for June. That makes sense. Nothing really is happening around June. People are out of school. I think in Japan they're starting school, maybe, or they're like in a
yeah,
limbo period around that time. Because I know Japanese school periods is way different from ours, as far as
yeah,
like their break and stuff like that. But the first, I did do some research. The first Switch was released around March, on March 3rd, 2007, worldwide actually.
yes,
So,
2017.
uh, 2017, I'm sorry. Yeah, March 3rd, 2017. Which is a very weird release date. In my opinion, that's not like the fall or around the holidays or anything. That's just like a random ass time, in my opinion. Um, so I mean, this kind of matches up with like June being a random time. No one's really doing anything. There aren't really any big release things coming around that time. Plus, I think this is going to be in the middle of like the E3 season. So if they have another direct
Hmm.
before this, it's going to be like really big for them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. I think that makes sense. And yeah, focusing on first party first. This phase thing is a little weird, but maybe they're thinking like they don't want to um dilute the games available, the pool of games available, so that there's too many games and they end up hurting each other,
Yeah.
type situation. And to be frank, I kind of get the vibe that Nintendo has a lot of ammo in terms of games they're going to be releasing when this thing launches. So I'm kind of expecting a big reveal next week. Like a lot of shit is going to be shown, personally, but I don't know. Could be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So, um, we shall see, I guess. But you think you have any issues with the three-phase approach?
Uh, no, actually, I don't. So from that three-phase approach, will you be able to pre-order a game or pre-order it and still get it, try to get it in the first phase if you want to? Oh, okay.
I
I'm
don't
thinking,
know. I don't think he really details that here.
okay. Yeah, but I do like how it's primarily going to be first party games first. I think that's where
Yeah.
you should like land on. Then the third parties in the second stage, and then you know everything else in the third stage. So
Well, you kind of create these like three different bursts of sales too in the first year.
exactly, yeah,
I think that might be what Nintendo's kind of banking on too. Is kind of you have these like three bumps that you're creating essentially.
yeah.
So, so I don't know. I think it makes sense, but we'll see. I guess we'll find out next week. All right, moving on. Nintendo had a direct today, though. Out of nowhere, they announced this yesterday. And this was a direct basically for Switch games that are coming um the rest of the year. And this was a really weird direct. I don't know what you thought of it. Like they just showed a bunch of games and they didn't say any of them are coming to Switch 2.
Yeah, dude, this was probably to me. This was like, all right, here you go. Or not here you go, but let's just get this out the way because we
Or
know it's
like
coming next week. Like
the marketing deal, that they had with all these
it,
companies or
it
something.
had to
Like I
be
don't
something
know.
like that. It had to be something like
Yeah.
that. This is more like we're just really trying to get rid of all the not the trash, but we're just really trying to get rid of all this stuff. So here's everything coming to the Switch. Here's probably the last Switch Direct you're gonna get. So here, and
Yeah.
it definitely felt like that. It definitely felt like they did not care. Um, about what was being shown, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I feel like they tried their best to hype it up, but in their own Nintendo Direct way. Um, but even like the Metroid thing or whatever, when that was shown, it looks really cool actually. Um, but I was just like, okay, like we've known about
Yeah.
Metroid. To me,
I don't.
this would have been cool if this was like the very first time I was seeing Metroid 4, like Metroid Prime
Yeah,
4 or
I just,
whatever.
dude. Okay, maybe I'm probably in the minority here, but I don't I don't think it looks that good. I'm not talking graphically either. I just like they just look like they're making Metroid Prime 1 again. Like that's what it looks like to me. Because
You
like,
don't
dude,
know.
what are we doing? It's fucking 2025, dude. What are we doing with this first person shooter that still has a lock-on mechanism to enemies? Like this gameplay
I
is so dated, bro.
I don't know, man.
Like this
I
is
am trying
completely
not to be
unappealing to me,
I am trying not to be negative on it, but I agree with you. I am tired of first person shooters or first person shooters in general. But I will say they already tried the third person thing with Other M, and it didn't work
Yeah.
out too well with
Yeah.
Team Ninja.
Yeah.
But that was their fault for giving Team Ninja a fucking script. I mean, don't do
Yeah.
that. They can't write for shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
love Team Ninja here, by the way. But their
They
stories
don't
are
write good
ass.
story. They don't write good
Yeah.
stories. Yeah.
But yeah, so I agree with you though. When I was watching, I was like, "Oh, everybody's oh my god, the psychic powers, bro!" And I'm like, "It
Dude,
looks good. It looks
it's just
okay."
another it's just a puzzle mechanism. Like I don't know. I'm really stuck on the combat. The enemy lock on is so awkward to me. It's just such an archaic design
That's what
um
people want, man. I
archetype,
think
dude. I mean, obviously they don't want to turn Metroid into a like fucking hardcore action game, I
I mean,
guess,
I
for
felt
some
like that was
reason, but
Dread. I feel like Dread was hard for a lot of people.
then
Like DJ couldn't
I
beat
don't
Dread,
know.
I don't think, or he said he
Really?
did. He had to look it up
Okay.
online. He couldn't.
Okay.
I think he said he had to look it up online how to beat Dread. I didn't have to look it
Yeah.
up online. I thought it was pretty straightforward.
Dude, this
But
yeah.
uh, uh, I think I think Prime is. I think they're going with the easy route for Prime because it is like that slow, methodical scan everything, and you're discovering the planet and everything of that nature. And like you said, I feel like we've been here before, but then
Yeah.
I feel like Metroid Prime 2 and 3 kind of went away from that aspect of the game so much, especially 3. Went
Yeah.
away from that gameplay so much that they wanted to kind of bring it back before bring it back before.
Rebooted almost.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the other part is like yeah, the whole psychic powers thing, dude. I was almost rolling my eyes like during this trailer where he's like, Samus uses her psychic powers to hit multiple enemies with one attack, and I'm just like, oh man,
Yeah. I mean,
like
that's
I
just
don't know.
direct corniness in my
I
opinion.
know it's just so it's fucking
It's
corny, dude. And
I agree with you, and I'm trying to be positive in the game, but I'm like,
yeah,
now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, all right, yeah, he's hitting like the litmus part of my brain there. Like I was just like, when I saw it too, I was like, ew, should I be excited about this? Like I don't
well,
really
like the
care.
part from 1120 where they're showing combat, where she's fighting like those three like monsters or whatever, from like 1120 to like 1130. I'm just like, bro, this looks so boring. Ugh. I, I don't know. Like, is it too much to ask that like Zelda and Metroid have good combat? Is that too? Am I asking for too much? You know, like,
I think, me personally, this is what I think for Metroid. I think the side scrollers are way better combat wise than
yeah,
Prime.
Prime. Yeah,
Um, I would like a proper like 3D Metroid game. Um, I actually don't mind them getting like Team Ninja, but they have to have somebody else write the story, or they write the story themselves, or something like that. I don't mind them
yeah,
doing like a partnership, like how kind of how like Platinum Games is doing with like Ninja Gaiden 4 or whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so I don't mind it like a partnership. I think they should attempt something like that again. But yeah, I personally, I just want Samus to be acrobatic like she's already, and she is that in Dread. She's like super acrobatic, super powerful, and everything like that. So I guess I'm getting the best of both worlds, where it's like this is like the more investigative side of Samus and the more methodical and planning side of her.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And maybe that's the design space they just want these games to be in.
yeah, and
I guess. I
yeah,
don't know. Well,
I don't think it's too much to ask for. better
Yeah.
though, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm sure Nintendo fans would disagree with us, but the other thing we need to consider though is that this game was rebooted in development, if you remember.
That's true.
Because remember they announced it, and then they had that weird announcement where they were like, "We're so sorry for the delay, but we have to restart development on Metroid Prime 4 or whatever it was." They did that several years ago or a few years ago now. So my guess is they had a much more ambitious maybe game on their hands back then, and it just wasn't coming together, and they decided to go safe with this
Yeah.
reboot of development, and that's what they did. They're making a really safe game to me. This just screams safe. So yeah, it is what it is. It's coming this year though, so I guess that's cool.
I
Keep me
agree.
excited.
I think it is cool. I think this is, like I said, this is more for people who haven't. You gotta think Nintendo games are for super casual audiences, like the casual audience.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I will say a lot of people were on my timeline was excited about this fucking direct. They're like, "Oh, this is a really good direct,"
what
and
are we talking about, man?
bro, that
I don't know.
and then someone was like, "Hey, man, I am a farm simulator, city simulator type person, and all these games they announced were like right up my alley, and this is what I want. I can't wait for it." A couple people said that to me, and I was just like, "Okay, like I can't get upset about that." To me, this was probably the worst direct in a long time. I
Yeah.
think there was like one other direct where me or you were like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this
I'm
direct
sure we've
wasn't.
said that at some point.
Yeah, um, this direct though, and that made me realize, like, didn't make me realize. I've been realized it, but like a lot of like non-hardcore gamers like us, play these Switch games. Like my wife, right? She plays Switch games all the time, but she plays like the little third party Switch games or like the little 2D, like
Yeah.
indie games or whatever that she
Yeah.
finds in the Switch market or whatever. And I think
Mm.
that's what the Switch is. It's like indie vaporware.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Well, I will say, admittedly, I'm talking shit. There were some other cool games. So, Pokemon Legends ZA. Um, I'm actually kind of like it looks good, dude. I'm kind of
I
into it.
told y'all. I told people like this game looks really good. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is ugly. This is a stupid game." I'm like,
I mean,
"Nah,
I
bro.
didn't say that. Remember, I think we both were on that boat when it was first shown.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I
Yeah,
like the idea of like you're in a city and that's the game, like you don't go in the wilderness really.
yeah.
Um, and I like that because the city's going to be really dense. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of shit going on in it. And then like the whole nighttime thing where there's like this battle
That
royale
was
tournament
that
going
was
on.
really cool. That was
I'm
cool.
like,
I didn't expect that.
yeah, I didn't either. I was like, okay, Nintendo, you got me here, baby. So no, that looks really cool. It's just that we've seen the game. This is my issue with this direct. There's just not a lot of new stuff here. Obviously, they're saving it all for next week.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
almost kind of like this is like a not pointless, but you know, they just threw all the junk they didn't want to show next week in here. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It was
Um,
it was one part of that
yeah,
Pokemon's part where I think someone did like water gun, and he did the dig attack and went under
I'm
the water
watching it
gun
right now.
attack,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he hit him, and I was like, oh my god, it's fucking cool as fuck. Like I can
yeah.
actually
It's
play
sick.
like the
Yeah,
fucking cartoons now.
yep,
Like,
yep. So that looked good. Saga Frontier 2 remastered. I've
oh
never played
yeah,
this game.
that
This
looks
looks
really
really
good though.
good, man. I don't
Yeah,
know. That looked really good. Oh, and then Monument Valley, Monument Valley 2. I've played Monument Valley on phone, and this game's really good. Like, I really would recommend it for anybody on Switch, for sure. It's a really cool puzzle game.
okay,
So those are cool. And then, oh yeah, and then the Marvel Cosmic Invasion. This isn't for me, but I know you like beat 'em ups. So
yeah. I looked at that. I was like, oh my, this is going to be a first day buy for me. Not
yeah,
because it's Marvel, but because it reminds me of the old. It does remind me of the old Marvel superheroes, like that Capcom made
mm-hmm.
that fighting
Mm-hmm.
game. It looks like that style, but like beat 'em up.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I'm really into
yeah.
that. So that's really cool.
Gotcha. And then there was one other thing they talked about, which this wasn't a game they were showing. It was a new function of Switch called what did they call it? Virtual game cards for your digital games. So they wanted to create a way for you to share your games to other Switch consoles, and they just made this really convoluted system where it's almost like you have your own library that people check games out of or whatever. And like, so basically when you buy a game, it creates like a digital cartridge is the
Mm-hmm.
way they described it. And that cartridge can always be plugged into your Switch. But if you want to share it with somebody else, you basically check it out of your Switch and give it to their Switch, and they can use it for like 2 weeks. It's like literally a library. Like I don't understand why Nintendo does things in a way like they're like doing this like we're still in 1900, you know? Like why can't I just go to my account and say click on a game and say share with Montrell, you know? Like that's it. That's all you have to do. But no, they make this convoluted system where there's like this check in, check out thing, and the person gets 2 weeks with the game, and then it goes back to your Switch automatically, and you can't play it on your Switch while it's checked out on their Switch. Like it's like, what the fuck are we doing, man? I don't understand. What is this? Like, why are they doing this, man? Moncho, did you get it? Do you understand it better than me and DJ? We seem like we
I
were kind of
I
flabbergasted in a way. I don't know.
yeah, okay, I'll be honest with you guys, with both of y'all. I didn't see the big deal, the big deal, because I'm like, okay, let's say if I have a cartridge version of Legend of Zelda, and then you like,
Yeah.
hey Montreal, can I borrow that? I'm like, cool, here you go. I no longer have that game in my possession, so I
Okay.
can't play it anymore.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that's how I was looking at it, and I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, this is and the game sharing thing, um, I think you can share the same game within vicinity of each other and both play it, right? If I'm getting that correct, right?
Mhm.
'Cause it's two
Mhm.
versions, like where you can actually loan it out to them and then you can actually share it with them.
Yeah, I think that part is for families
Yeah. So
is what
I
the
I
idea is,
didn't
I think.
mind that at all either because I'm like that's cool. I think also one they're preparing people for like say like if because they probably recognize that there are a lot of dads around the world who have children who have switches as well or who are going to want to play the switch as well. They're going to have the switch 2 to themselves and then they're going to have the other switch and or their children are going to get their hand-me-down switch. So I can share my game with my child or my little brother or my little sister or whatever the case may be. Um, with my Switch 2. So I think this is all in preparation for Switch 2, in my opinion. And that's why they introduced that system. Uh I just didn't see the big deal, in my opinion. I was just like, I then again, I'm not a person that game shares all the time. Um and DJ knows way more about game sharing than me because he shares his games with his family or whatever. Um so yeah, I know what he was saying was you can play single player games at the same time you and your person you game shared with
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right. Right.
Now you can't. I did look it up. You cannot do multiplayer games with each other. Like you can't do that. You can't be on Fortnite on the same account at the same time. If that makes sense, you
Yeah,
have to
that
have your own.
no, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I do understand it from that instance, but they also did say now I don't know how long you can share it on PlayStation though. Maybe PlayStation has some kind of hidden time limit that we don't know about. But they also did say if I game share it with you for 14 days, say like the internet does go out, you still have however many days to play that game offline on your console. You can play. You don't have to do a
Mhm.
DMR check or anything like that. So I'm not defending Nintendo. I think this is a really cool idea. Um,
Yeah.
I thought
I
the
just
naming
think
convention.
I just think it's unnecessarily convoluted.
I
Like
don't think so. You just game share to game share with somebody. You
like
just
I don't.
do the little ad hoc thing or ad hoc
Mhm.
mode. That's like a PlayStation PSP thing. So you just do the ad hoc mode or whatever, and then you swap it over. Or I can just loan you out the game for 2 weeks, and then you give it, and then it comes back to me. I don't think it's that convoluted, in my opinion. But maybe I'm like oversimplifying it, and maybe it is way more convoluted than what I'm thinking in my head.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we'll try it and it'll be awesome and we'll be sharing games with each other and I'll be playing your games and you'll be playing mine. I don't know, but to me, my first initial reaction to it was like, why can't I just click on my game, go to options, and just say share, and then it shows my friend list, and I pick somebody. Like that's all
Oh
you need to
yeah,
do.
like that part, because I think they're trying to simulate it actually being next
A
to somebody.
cartridge, yeah, no,
Yeah, a
I know.
cartridge.
That's what they want to do. They're trying to make it the same as a physical game. Is kind of what they're
Yeah,
trying to do. I think. Um, so which I guess is fine. I guess it's fine. It's just they're not the same though. Digital and physical are not the same.
and they're trying. They're
Um,
close to. I think they just want that functionality. I think people have been complaining about it. Like, why can't I share my games with like my cousin right next to me or whatever? And I think this is their way of doing it. Honestly, I think it's a really cool way of doing it.
mhm.
I don't know. I understand wanting to share. Like I'm trying to look at it in a positive way. For some strange reason, I'm usually should be against this type of shit. But it's like I think they're trying to, in my opinion, and this is like the hopeful part of me. Maybe they're just trying to get people to come back together and like actually talk to each other, like as far as video game wise in the community.
Yeah,
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 come back and share games or whatever. Because like we used to do that all the time back in the day before like the online shit happened. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's a really cool. It reminds me of just old times, so that's why I like it so much. I'm like, oh yeah, I can just like go over to my friend's house, like, hey, you want to share this game? I can loan you this game, and you're like, yeah, cool. And then it comes
yeah,
back to me automatically. I think that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Fair enough. We'll end on a positive note. All right, let's move on to our next story. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Game Informer had shut down, and actually, this was months ago now. Now that I'm thinking about it, Game Informer had shut down, but they're back. They got acquired by Gunzilla Games, and they are being brought back with all the original staff that was let go back when they were shut down last year. So, which this is kind of a cool story. I don't know. Like if this is gonna be something we talk about in another year where they're shutting down again, but I hope not. I think it's cool that they're coming back. Their website was relaunched. They also have 130 archived issues are available on the website right now too, digitally as well. So they seem to have gotten everything from GameStop, or at least as much as they could, in terms of like data and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And they're going to be doing a print publication still. And they're adding. It seems like they're trying to monetize it more realistically, where they're turning it into a membership model, but there will be like more to the membership than just the magazine. Like you're going to get other types of perks as well, and they're going to be doing online content, video streaming, stuff like that as well. So they seem to be kind of going all in on this idea, and yeah, Game Informer's back. Montrell, how does that make you feel?
I am actually after the show. I'm going to sign up for it because I actually want them to stay around. So I'm going to
Yeah,
support them.
yeah,
It was very sad when I saw them leave, and I was like, man, maybe I should have supported them more. And now that they're back and they're giving me the opportunity to do it, I think all gamers should do it. I don't think this should be like a bipartisan thing or anything like that. I think, or it should be bipartisan, a bipartisan thing. I think we all should just support it, no matter your stance on games. If you like video games, you should just support Game Informer, in my opinion.
yeah,
Unless they do some really crazy or crappy shit.
yeah. What's the I want to see what the subscription costs.
If it's like 25 a year, I think that's if it's like 25 or 10 a year or something like that, that's doable. I'm trying to look it up right
Probably
now.
going to be per month, I would imagine. Um, you got to like sign up for an account. I'll do this later when we're off the show, but so I don't know what the cost of it's going to be, but yeah, if it's cheap enough, I mean, I'd love to get a print magazine. Honestly, still,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, dude. There's something about that era of games coverage that is just so fucking nostalgic for me, man. Like, I love this shit. I really love. I love these things. So, when it was tied to GameStop, it had no appeal, right? I didn't want to sign up for it at all because I don't want to sign up for GameStop's bullshit.
Yeah.
But them being not necessarily independent, but pretty much independent, the way they're structuring this, is a lot more appealing because you're supporting them directly. When you get the magazine, which helps continue to get the magazine. which I think is really cool. So I don't know. This is a cool story. Well, hopefully they're able to kind of get on their feet and you know, stick around in a more permanent way. So, but people are excited about it. All the comments on this article we have are super excited. So that's cool. It's good news.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
let's move on. We were talking about Monster Hunter Wilds. You mentioned the title update, and we got details of what this title update is gonna hold for us. So yeah. All right, this is coming out April 2nd, I believe. Oh no, April 4th. Sorry, next week. And it is going to have a hub for hunters, so multiplayer players will be able to join this hub and hang out together and do stuff in the hub. I guess you can feast, arm wrestle, listen to the diva sing. There's a barrel bowling mini game. I'm sure you'll be able to eat meals. Oh yeah, it says feast together. Yeah, I already said that. So that's coming. Mizutsune is the monster that we're gonna get with this title update, which is cool. Mizutsune is a fun fight. I enjoy it. It's a cool monster to get in the game for sure. And then they're adding event quests. There will be a Arch Tempered Raidao, which is going to be coming at the end of April, and then Zoshia is also going to be getting a high rank fight as well, where we'll actually be able to fight that thing, which we cannot currently do. It's a low rank only. Actually, it's not even low rank either. You fight it once in the story, and that's it. You never fight it again. So they're adding that as well. They're going to be adding arena quests. They're also adding the ability to change Alma's outfits
Nice.
as well, which I'm sure the Gooners are going to love. There will be free and paid DLC as well coming out with the update, and then some more event quests. So I don't know, man. For me, this is really disappointing.
Same.
I saw this and I was like, that's it. I was really hoping for more. Frankly, I actually think there's less than I was expecting there to be. Because we
Yeah.
knew Mizutsune was coming, and the Zoshia thing, while that's cool, like that probably should have already been in the base game, frankly.
Yeah.
Same with the Grand Hub. Like that feels like something that they just mislaunched with and are just adding it now because they've been working on it. And then the fact that the Arch Tempered thing, like we're getting one Arch Tempered monster for the title update. That's it. Like I was hoping we were just getting Arch Tempered monsters, period, and we were gonna get like a
Me,
shitload.
yeah,
You
me
know?
too. I thought we were
Yeah.
gonna get all of them. Maybe they're adding move sets to the Arch Tempered monsters. I don't know. Maybe they gotta tweak some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I'm disappointed, but I'm not. Um, this has always been how Monster Hunter operates. I mean,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like this, but even since the old games, like I said, we got spoiled with the old games, especially after Try. I mean, we only got 4U. And if you started with like 4U or whatever, or
Mhm.
even with Try, if you started with Try or 3U, you only play the ultimate versions of the game. Like I said, I've been playing Monster Hunter forever. Even the PSP games, they had a Monster Hunter Freedom, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite 2,
Yeah.
and then Monster
Yeah.
Hunter Freedom Unite 2 Ultimate or something like that. Or yeah, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite 2. And that was at the G, that was Monster Hunter 2 G ranked or whatever.
Yeah.
So uh they've been doing this, and now we're getting the full. This is the full Monster Hunter experience. Like this is what they do, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm. I don't think I'm gonna come back right away. I might actually like start playing Monster Hunter like super again when the laggy comes out in Title Update Part 2
Yeah.
and Title Update 2 in the summertime. I think that's when we're gonna come back. I think that's when they're gonna add some more stuff. Also, I was thinking I wouldn't mind them adding a weapon, adding one more weapon to the roster. I know it's already 14 weapons to play from, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't
What
mind
would
them
it
adding
be?
like so there was this one weapon from a really, really old obscure Monster Hunter game called the Excel Axe. That was really cool. And it had like the
Yeah.
mobility of the hammer, with the power of the great sword. It was really cool. And you like charge up and you had like a rocket launcher or not a rocket, it was like a boost behind
Yeah.
your axe, and it will
Yeah.
boost you into people and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like some kind of fist weapon. I think Monster Hunter do really well with like a fist fighting weapon or something like that to kind of complement the dual swords.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, fist weapon would be cool. Um I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things. Like a scythe or something maybe would be interesting. Um like, kind of like a foldable scythe, something like
Mm.
that.
What about
Um
the what is it called? The chain scythe one where you got this you're
oh,
swinging
the
the chain around.
Kusarigama?
Yeah, the Kurisagama.
That
Yeah,
weapon, I don't feel like that weapon would work in Monster Hunter.
you don't think so?
It's yeah, it's too like you got to be really stationary to use it. Um and it's never a fast attacking weapon because you're swinging a chain around.
Yeah,
Then again, I don't know. They can figure it out. Make you like super acrobatic, where you like you like throw the chain around the monster or something, and then you launch yourself in the air or some shit.
yeah,
There could be some cool stuff with that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, no, a new weapon would be cool, but that feels like DLC, like the Iceborne, master rank type edition if they were going to do something like that.
yeah,
So I wouldn't expect that in title updates. But looking at the title update history, though, I would decided to look this up while we were talking of World versus Rise. This is actually a really stark difference between the two. So Rise, this is actually to Rise's credit. The first title update in Rise added 6 monsters.
damn,
The second title update for Rise added 3 monsters, and there was only 2 title updates before Sunbreak came out. And then Sunbreak title update 1 added 4 monsters. The second one added 3, and then this infographic I'm looking at doesn't have all of them. This was something somebody did in the middle of Sunbreak's release. So, but World title update 1 had 1 monster, Devil Joe. Then 2 had the you remember the KT Siege thing,
yeah,
um, with the giant monster from World. And then title update 3 added Lunastra. Title update 4 added 1 monster as well. And then 5 added the Witcher quest line, which had 2 monsters on it. And then Iceborne had 1 monster, 2 monsters, 2 monsters, 2 monsters, and 1 monster. And that was it. So this actually seems par for the course for the World side of things, I guess. So it is what it is, bro. I think this is kind of what we're gonna be up against with Wilds. Um so yeah, I don't know. This is kind of one of those things. It's like, do we just wait until more of the title updates are out, like 3 or 4, and come back and like kind of push it hard at that
yeah.
point?
I know Jeff's gonna be upset, but yeah, I think that would be the best thing to do. I might
Yeah.
come back at the title update too, depending on what comes out in title update too. When I'm actually really upset, I didn't see any balance changes to weapons. I
Yeah.
was really hoping they do some weapon balancing, but they looks like they didn't do it. So
Yeah, which is surprising because they always do that,
yeah, yeah,
with these games. So it's kind of surprising. But so I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe we're just expecting too much, which is, fair, I suppose.
yeah,
Um, and I think the problem with it is that the game is shorter than Monster Hunter has almost ever been, in terms of time investment to beat. And we kind of destroyed the game.
yeah.
Like
We did.
like we were done with the game in less than a week, pretty much. In terms of like, finishing the story and getting our like end game gear and stuff. Like we finished this game so fast. So part of it's on us too. Like we were just playing it too much. Um so and I think I was talking about this in the chat with you and DJ, is that I am personally spoiled. Like I came into Monster Hunter, my first 3 Monster Hunter games were ultimate games. All like the first 3
Yeah,
I played. So
yeah,
I had G rank in every one of those. And the last 3 I've played at more the normal cadence where you get normal and high rank, or low and high rank, and then master rank after that. So I'm kind of spoiled by those ultimate games, and that's my own problem to deal with. It's not Capcom's fault that I was introduced to the series like that. So it kind of is what it is. So I'm kind of trying to be a little bit more fair about it to some degree. But I think the other reality is too is just like, dude, this game is going to be way better when Master Rank comes out. I think that's just the reality of it, straight up. So, we could also wait for that too.
No, I'm not waiting till Master Rank comes out. So I'm still gonna play the game. I think the game's still incredibly fun.
I do too. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it isn't.
So I mean, like I said, I've been used to this. I usually kind of steamroll. Well, I didn't steamroll the first couple of Monster Hunters because I was actually terrible at Monster Hunter. But like 3, when Try came out and Monster Hunter Freedom came out, not Freedom Unite, but Freedom, I steamrolled through those games. And then I bought Freedom Unite because I didn't know Freedom Unite was out. Because Freedom was Monster Hunter Portable 1, was Monster Hunter 1, but just transferred it to the PSP. So I played that, and then I was like, man, like this is really cool, or whatever. Then I went to GameStop or whatever, and the guy actually knew me at that local GameStop, and he was like, "Hey, you play Monster Hunter, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Freedom Unite 2." He's like, "Freedom Unite is out." I was like, "What's Monster Hunter Freedom Unite?" He was like, "Oh, it's like you get way more monsters." So I was like, "Okay, I'll go back home." And I bought it, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is Monster Hunter G that never came to America or whatever." Yeah. And then I bought Freedom Unite 2, which is they skipped the Monster Hunter 2 and they just went straight to Monster Hunter 2G, which is obviously the G rank version. And Monster Hunter Freedom Unite 2 was Monster Hunter 2G on the PSP, bar for bar. So that game I played or whatever. And then with Monster Hunter 3, I didn't get Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. I didn't get that. That was like the in-between title between 2 and 3 that was coming out. Yeah. And but I did get Monster Hunter 3, and I destroyed that game. That game I did destroy. I went to high rank and I played it, and I just kept playing it, and I kept playing it, and I kept playing it until Monster Hunter. Until they announced Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I remember what happened that day. I was at work and I watched it on my phone, the actual direct for it, and I went out and bought a 3U, I think. I'm not a 3U, but I went out and bought either a Nintendo DS. I bought one of the consoles. I didn't have it, and I went out and bought the console. And I was like, I'm buying this shit particularly for this fucking game. Like, I'm getting that shit particularly for this fucking game. It was the Wii U. I went out and just bought the Wii U. I bought it used.
And okay, so that was 3 Ultimate.
Yeah.
4 Ultimate got me with that because they had the GameStop 3DS that was exclusive to GameStop that had the Monster Hunter 4 skin. I have that new 3DS.
Okay.
And I remember I was at work, like, dude, it was like 8 a.m, bro. And I just got into work and I'm like F5 in GameStop waiting for that thing to go live, bro. And I got one though. So that's the one I have. I still have it to this day. And it came with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And then I also they came out with 2. They came out with that one, and then they had an exclusive one with Target, which was the Zelda one for Majora's Mask. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that one.
I got one of those too, and then I fucking scalped it because I was poor at the time and needed the money. But yeah, that the Monster Hunter one was sick though. I love it. I still have it, so it's great. We are other weapons I was thinking about. So there's actually somebody in the comments of this article who had some ideas. They mentioned gauntlets. They mentioned Kusarigama. They said something like a 3-section staff that would be like a transformation weapon. Was an idea. And then they said whips. And then they were like, this probably won't happen because it could evoke some sort of cruelty towards the monsters.
It definitely will. Yeah, I could definitely see.
But what I was thinking of is we have lance, but we don't really have like a spear, and it's like the way I'm thinking of it is like kind of an agile weapon where it's you're kind of like pole vaulting and stuff like over the monster. Yeah, we have insect glaive.
Oh, that's insect glaive.
It's not a spear though, the way I'm thinking of it. So I don't know, like because it's more of like a poking weapon, like where you're kind of like piercing and stuff. So I don't know.
You can cut tails off with the insect glaive though. I think you can. Yeah, so I don't think they would do that. They can add. I think they can add move sets to make it more Pierce like. They should be able to
Yeah.
do that with the Insect Glaive.
Yeah.
But I think gauntlets would be really cool, or maybe like some kind of dual shield, like a shield gauntlet type thing, where you have like a shield, you have two shields, and they have
Captain
knives on the end of it.
America fucking throwing the shield and shit.
I think that would be cool though. I think that would be
Yeah.
fucking
Oh
cool.
my god, that feels so not Monster Hunter, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe it'd be a Rise 2 thing or something.
Yeah, maybe. Also, how is this so? I just don't understand how this is so possible. So there's somebody in the comments who's complaining about Lagiacrus, like they hate the monster and they were like underwater fighting was awful. And there's somebody who replied to them saying, "Underwater fights were great. I've been wanting them back for a long time." Who are these people, Montrell?
Dude,
I continue to be flabbergasted at how many of them there are.
I think I put it on Reddit, bro, and I asked if it was a meme or not, and people were like, "No, I genuinely want underwater fighting back."
I think
And
they
I'm like,
gaslit themselves into thinking this was fun.
they
Like I
they
don't
had
understand,
to.
dude.
It's like I don't want to go there, so I'm gonna go there. That's a dark place. But it's like Stockholm syndrome, right? When you're like kidnapped or whatever, and you're like, "Oh, this is my first." I was gonna say something else. I was gonna say another example. I ain't go there.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like Stockholm syndrome, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think
It's not. This isn't so bad, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I don't think underwater fighting is good. It didn't have any good quality whatsoever. There was only like two weapons I can remember that were really good, and one of them was lance, and I had to force myself to build a lance underwater.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I do as well. Dual blades underwater were the worst. Literally, probably the worst weapon in the fucking game. So yeah, that's fun. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Oh no, yeah, like
Oh, good.
this is what somebody just said. Why do some want underwater combat so much? This is not me, this is somebody else. Basically, title. I really don't understand why a portion of the community wants underwater combat to return so badly. It was really, really bad and try, and just not fun. Can anyone point to any third-person game where it has decent underwater combat that doesn't feel janky, or heck, a third-person game with three-dimensional combat in general? I don't know why he said that part. Uh, I just don't see. I just don't see it as a system that never feels not janky and clunky. Blah blah blah. So he goes on for that. And then
Yeah.
people, the first comment was just like, he ain't the same without it. It's a picture of Ligarius.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no one's really giving a good example. People like it was cool to fight aquatic monsters on their home turf, and I'm just like, and then one person said like, well, for one, it increased biodiversity. It gives more possible monster variation. Is that what they want? They just want
Yeah,
more
but
monster.
dude, okay, I understand the idea of what these people are saying, but like Monster Hunter 3 did not execute this well in any way, shape, or form. Like they literally executed the underwater combat like it was me fighting, you know, like me in my out of shape, fat ass form fighting underwater, like struggling to fucking move and like can't like your character moved like they had never swam before, you know? Like it was miserable. Like if you're gonna reintroduce underwater combat in Monster Hunter, like your character's agility needs to go up 1,000-fold. Like you need to actually be able to dodge. You know, when you dodge, you actually move more than 2 feet. You know, it's like dodging was pointless because it animation locked you in the super slow animation and you barely moved. You know, it was better to just like swim. You know, it was fucking miserable. So, and when you swung your weapon, your character was swinging it like I understand, right? This is what Monster Hunter is going for sometimes, but this wasn't fun. Where when you swung your weapon underwater, it happened like it would in real life, where it's like really slow, you know, because you're underwater. There's so much drag. That's not fun in a video game where you are fighting giant monsters that move 10 times as fast as you because they are agile underwater and you are not. That is not fun. Okay? There was nothing fun about fighting Lagiacrus underwater because that thing was humongous And the second that it started activating its lightning attack, where its whole body would get electrified or whatever, you're fucking dead, bro, if you're next to it. Because you can't move fast enough to get away from it. It was miserable. It was absolute ass cheeks miserable. Just because conceptually it's a cool idea doesn't mean we need it back in the form we had it. Like, I'm sure Capcom could execute it better today than they did back then, but no one in the community ever expresses that. They just say, I want underwater combat back. It's like, bro, you're just telling them you want shit. Like,
but even that I think is cool, because this is what one person say. Why do people think that if they reintroduced it, it will be exactly as the same as before with no changes? And I'm like, he's like, people who say they want underwater combat expected to come back with new changes, such as new mobility, underwater mounts, dashes, water bug, or water. Yeah, he said water bug. I know what that is. Comprehensive underwater move sets for each weapon, new underwater and amphibious monster skeletons. I'm like, first of all, what this person said is absolutely right. Can you think of any game with decent underwater combat? Any game? You have to really search for it.
I'm gonna say one, and you're probably gonna disagree with me, but I actually think genuinely this is, I won't say good, decent
Kingdom Hearts
underwater combat. Yes, Kingdom Hearts 1.
Okay, I can agree with that, because that's the only one I was thinking about. I thought about Kingdom Hearts 1 and actually Kingdom Hearts 3.
I'm glad we had the same. Okay, I'm glad we had the same thought. That's the one game I can ever think of that actually does it okay.
But that was and they did it in a way to where it was just like one or two move sets.
But you want to know why? Yeah, you want to know why too? Sora was mega agile underwater, bro. Like he was more agile underwater than he was in the normal levels. Like
yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like his dodge was insane, bro. He would he's sprinting faster than he's like swimming faster than he can sprint, in normal levels.
Has good underwater combat.
What? Underwater combat.
Somebody said Sekiro in Kingdom Hearts 3 has pretty solid underwater combat. I'm trying to remember Sekiro's
combat. Is my brain broken? Sekiro underwater combat. What are they talking about?
You did fight. I don't think you fought underwater. You fought above water. No, you did go underwater.
Headless mini boss. What in the fuck is it? Dude, did I not do this?
It's been a while since you played the game, but you did go underwater, and you had underwater moves.
Oh, you're right. I don't remember this at all, dude. But yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Here it is. Your character's actually agile. Like, I don't know. And yeah, that I mean, to those people's points, right? That's what they're saying. Like, yeah, we want it back with like good, like, but actually good. But that's the point. It's like almost no one in the history of video games has ever pulled this off. Where it's actually good.
Well, even Sekiro though, it's like you have a limited move set. You can't do a Mariki counter in there. I don't even think you can fucking parry. Like, you just have
it's
to
like
dodge.
Attack dodge. That's it, I think.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I don't want this in Monster Hunter. I'm sorry, I just don't like underwater combat in any game. I actually dread every time they're like, we gotta go underwater. I'm like, oh,
you remember in World of Warcraft? You remember in World of Warcraft when you had the underwater quests? How miserable they are.
Yeah,
dude, like you have breath for a minute, and you have to like go into the ocean and like go all the way to the bottom of the ocean or whatever. It's like, and do something. Yeah, you're literally dying while murlocs are hitting. It's fucking horrifying, bro. And like, I think I think my other thing with this is you guys can continue to hope, because frankly, I would be so mad at Capcom if they wasted a Monster Hunter game on this, like a modern Monster Hunter game, on trying to make this work. Because if they failed, it would be a ruined game. They literally wasted an entire release that takes them 5-6 years to make. In today's modern day and age, it's just not worth it. It is not worth the risk. And if I'm Capcom, I would never try it. Like,
no,
I don't know.
It was terrible, man. I think people have nostalgia glasses on, and I think the nostalgia glasses for underwater combat is hitting way harder than any other thing I've ever seen. Any franchise, to be honest with you. It's just it's not good. Like the person said, the potential for underwater combat is is an additional. I don't know. I think he has bad English. He's trying to say the potential for underwater combat is limitless. Um, no one requesting underwater combat wants to see exactly as it was decades ago. And I'm like, I understand that.
No.
I
Yeah.
just it's just not good though. Like even if you
Well,
make it agile like Kingdom Hearts or whatever, I still don't. That was one section of the game that I was okay with. If there was like other sections of the game that I have to deal with
yeah.
for hours, like if I had to hunt monsters in that type of environment for hours, I wouldn't.
Hours and
It
hours.
would
You're
not be
spending the
fun for
whole
me.
game in those environments. Yeah, it would not be fun. And dude, watching this Sekiro fight, what are people talking about? This looks like ass. Like the monster does 3 attacks, 2 of them are ranged and they're complete bullshit. And then one of them, he just does this spinning melee attack when you go in close. Literally, the gameplay loop is go in, swing twice, dodge backwards until you can get an opening to do that again. And you do, like, dude, this took 3 minutes for this guy. 3 minutes and 41 seconds for this guy to kill an enemy that would take him 5 seconds if he was on land fighting it normally. Like, it's fucking nonsense. Like, this is not good gameplay. What cope are people living under? Like, I don't understand, bro. It's so stupid, man. And this is exactly why. There's 2 things that video games have never done well, combat wise. It's underwater and
Mhm.
free floating air combat, where you like have the ability to fly, because it's the same concept. You have full 3-directional movement in any direction. It's really hard to balance that and make it fun and make the controls feel
The,
good.
the
You know?
only game that's done that well, and it's like a pseudo version of that, is like Dragon Ball Tenkaichi.
Or
Like
yeah, Kakarot,
yeah,
the
Kakarot.
RPG or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So those games done it really well, but they only did it in like a limited setting, if that makes any
Right.
sense.
Right.
Um,
Well, in the very
yeah,
specific way that Dragon Ball enables you to do that.
yeah,
You know, this is why we've never seen a good Superman game,
yep.
because this is hard to do and make it fun, Um, I don't know.
There is
Yeah,
one
like,
indie game coming out. It looks like a, a copy of like My Hero. It's the same guys that made it from Assault Spy. Um,
yeah.
and they're making like a superhero type ish game where you're fighting, and the combat looks really good in that game. So I'm interested in seeing when that comes out, how that might change the game on flight combat. But the only time flight combat is really good to me is like mech shooters. Like that's why I like mechs games so much. Like Zone of
Yeah, but
Enders.
they have mechanics associated with them that makes the flight difficult. It's not freeform, right? Like if you're not using fuel to boost your mech, you're gonna fall to the ground.
Yeah.
It's like that's usually how they work. So
Well,
it's like
like
they're
Zone of Enders has really good flight
yeah.
combat.
Well, yeah, that's in space, right? A
Yeah.
lot of the time, yeah. Um, but see, that's the thing. When it's associated with mechs, again, they have things, as part of the mechanics of the game, because it's a mech game, that makes that more interesting.
Yeah, you can
Um,
shoot lasers and swords and all that shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, and there's like momentum and stuff from boosting in certain directions, right?
true.
Whereas
Yep.
if you're a person just in a freeform 3D space and you can go in any direction, like flight wise, that stuff doesn't really exist as much. Like again, Superman as a perfect example. Superman would be super boring to play as because he moves super fast and he can go anywhere. Like, how do you make that fun? It would be fun and novel for 30 minutes, and then you would be bored. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Like it's the same thing
so
with like super speed, like
yeah,
Flash, like a Flash
right,
video game. It would be really hard
right,
to make a Flash video game.
yeah,
It's too much power to the player.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So, all right, let's move on. Talking about Monster Hunter Forever. Bloomberg, Jason Schreier, wrote a new article today, and he is reporting that Warner Bros. Discovery has canceled a planned expansion for Hogwarts Legacy that was planned to come out this year, and they are also canceling a definitive edition of the game that was going to have all content, including this DLC. Um, this hadn't been publicly announced yet, but they decided to cancel the project this week, and this is quoting from the article, quote, in part due to concerns that the amount of content was not substantial enough to justify the price being considered, end quote. So, yeah, I mean, this is a game that sold over 34 million copies according to Jason, which that sounds about right. And this game was super popular. A DLC expansion feels like a slam dunk for a game like this. And the fact that it was planned to come out this year and they're canceling it now seems kind of insane to me personally. And the reason he's citing here makes no sense to me. If that's your concern, that you don't have enough content to justify the price you're planning to charge, lower the price. No? Am I crazy?
I think they want to higher the price. I read it as the opposite. That's funny. That's funny.
No,
that you read it that
I
way.
know. But what I'm saying is they're sitting there like, we want to charge 50 for this DLC, but we think it's worth 30. Then just charge 30 and release it still and make money? I don't understand. Am I fucking crazy?
They probably won't meet the threshold of the amount of time and money they put into it. That makes no sense.
But it's Montrell. It's supposed to come out this year. It's almost done. What are we talking about? Like, I don't understand how you're making this decision. Like, if this thing is coming out in September, let's say, okay, so you have 6 more months of burn rate. You're saying that you don't think that you can sell enough copies to justify that 6 months? Because by making the decision now, you've already spent all the money to develop it up to this point. You can't recoup that by canceling it. I guess you technically could write it down as a loss on taxes, technically. So maybe that's their thought process, is they think that's more worthwhile than releasing it at a lower price and making less money off of it, technically, I guess. But, I mean, to me, though, that's just so disappointing, because if you're a fan of Hogwarts Legacy, and I mean 34 million people bought this fucking game, I mean, you want more content, no? Probably. At least a subsection of those people definitely do,
Yeah, I mean, it sold 34 million copies. I assume at least 5 million people are going to still buy that DLC. And that's being generous. I think.
I mean, yeah, I was thinking 10%, right? So I was thinking 3.4 million.
Okay, yeah.
10% like
of people, yeah.
Yeah, let me do this math real quick. Times, let's do $30 they charge. Dude, obviously there's more involved in this, but gross revenue there is 102 million. That's not enough. What?
Dude, this right here.
What the fuck? What's happening at WB, bro? Like, what is wrong with this company right now?
They have the worst management ever. And on top of that, I think this is like a really, really gross outlook on video games as a whole. Yeah. I really, in my whole heart of hearts, thought this game was going to fail. They really thought this game was going to fail.
With the Rowling stuff and everything. And the controversy. Yeah.
And I really think they did not, even before the Rowling stuff, I just think they didn't think it was going to sell this much. And this was a hit for them. And they don't know how to handle it. It's almost like EA with Apex. Remember when Apex came out? It was such a fucking huge hit. And they, to this day, they still don't know what to do with Apex.
Right.
Right. And the only company that I think it requires a lot, and maybe it requires a lot of like moving around and shifting to when you have a huge hit like this, you don't know how to handle it. Because you think about Fortnite, right? How what's the name of that company? My brain's fried right now. Epic, yeah. How Epic fucking moved everything, adjusted everything. The moment they found out Fortnite was a fucking huge hit, they're like, okay, we know what we're doing now. This is our goal.
They canceled a Paragon, right?
Yeah, like, Paragon.
They instantaneously canceled Paragon and were like, yeah, fuck this game. Fortnite's it.
Yeah.
It's like...
And I mean, it sucks for us, right? For people that love Paragon, but that's a boss move. Like,
and it was the right decision ultimately.
It was the right decision. Like, that's a really good move. And look how it paid off for them. It's like one of the highest grossing free-to-play games ever. So it's like...
Yeah, right. And it still is right now.
It still is.
Popular games on the planet. Like, it's, so they managed to maintain it,
Exactly. So I say that to say, because I always wonder why stuff like this happen with companies, and I just don't think they're equipped to handle it. Like, even when
their leadership doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, like, they're suffering. It's literally,
it's literally leadership, either inexperience or just pure incompetence, with these kind of things. Because it's like, dude, even if, let's just say that 102 million is true, that's like the real figure they would have made if they released this DLC. How is that not enough money, bro? Like, explain that to me. Maybe I'm overshooting, but dude, that like DLC sells at a higher rate than 10% usually to games install bases. So I feel like I'm being conservative saying 10%, and you were thinking 5 million, and that was conservative, which you're probably right. So what happened here? Did Warner Bros. Spend 300 million making this DLC that doesn't have enough content? What happened?
Or
what are we talking about?
did they spend 300 million making the game in general and just made the money back?
Maybe that's not possible, though, bro.
I know it's not possible, but
dude,
maybe
34 million copies sold. They made their money back many times over, no matter what the budget was. I don't give a shit what the number was, bro. It could have been 500 million. They've made their money back. Like,
yeah, dude.
Like, dude, 34 million. Let's just do the math.
$2.3 billion off this game.
Yes, that's what I was about to do. Yeah, 2.4 billion. Yeah, so that's my point.
Yeah.
What is WB doing? What is wrong with this company, dude?
Yeah, when you put it in perspective like that, that's insane. And let's just cut off 1 billion for like marketing and other shit, right? You still have 1.4 billion dollars
in profit.
You made in 1 year in profit.
No, and this is what I don't understand. Like, their reaction to Hogwarts Legacy's success is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen from a company, because remember after the game came out, they were like, we're going to move into live service games as our primary mode of business, you know, when this single player game that is purely single player, has no microtransactions at all, and is like selling gangbusters, is literally one of the most popular games ever released, you know, and their reaction is, we don't want to make single player games anymore. So there was that. And then there's now this, where it's like this DLC isn't going to make enough money for them. But based on what? Yeah, 100 million made when the game made 2.4 billion. Sure, that doesn't seem great, but you've already made it. It's supposed to come out this year. So what are you saving is what I don't understand. I'm so confused. Like,
that's what I don't understand too. I don't get it, because now I'm scared, even though at the end of the paragraph, right, it says a sequel is still in development at Salt Lake City for Avalanche. I'm scared that the sequel's not going to come out now. In my opinion, I think they're going to cancel it because and Justin, maybe
I don't know, bro.
And maybe this is why we aren't CEOs right here. I really think, and I'm not even trying to be like political or anything, I really think it's a ego thing. Like, you ever see CEOs make really bad moves and they just double down on it, and you're like,
yeah, oh yeah,
why are you doing this, bro? This is a really bad idea.
I think I've been going through it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really think, like you said, we're gonna move the live service. It's like, why? This game just sold at the time probably like $1 billion in sales.
Dude, it is the only game. It is the only game not named Call of Duty or a Rockstar game to be number one on the Circana list in the last 20 years. Okay, and their reaction to that was to go into live service games.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're really mad about Suicide Squad. That's what it seems like to me. It's like they put all their money behind Suicide Squad, and they're like, fuck, we didn't know that this game was going to be good.
I mean, what?
It's so
petty. Like, if that's what it is, man, that would be so petty, bro. It's
I really think this is the opposite of Concord. Like, not Mark Cerny, but who's the head of
Herman Hulst?
Herman Hulst, right?
You're thinking about
Herman Hulst. So I really think, like, how they put all their eggs in one basket, like the Horizon basket and all his like IPs, or whatever, the Gorilla IPs, right? Yeah. And then you got Helldivers that just blew everything out of the water, right? And I really think he's like jealous of Helldivers, like of that studio. He may not say it, but I really think he is. And I think,
dude, Helldivers is outsold probably every Horizon game, not put together, but individually. I think. Because it sold 15 to 20 million. I don't think Horizon's at that number. Either of them, any of them. Like,
this is what I'm saying, right? I think it's a really, and this is where, like, like even though you're a CEO, you're still human. I really think like it's an ego thing. I think some CEO or some bigwig, some suit, put all their money behind the Suicide Squad. Like that was their baby project, and they're like,
Yeah.
"This is what we're going with. This is it." Oh yeah, we got the little Harry Potter project from Avalanche. Yeah, whatever, whatever. And then Avalanche comes out and they make this huge hit, and they're like, "Fuck, this is making me look so
Yeah.
bad. Like
No,
it's making me
Montrell,
look
this
bad to
is,
the investors."
dude, somebody needs to talk to these guys real. Like, this is what I hate about corporate culture, because CEOs and high level executives at these companies are revered. Like, they are like godlike deities to people. So no one is willing to talk truth to them, you know?
Yeah,
And honestly, a lot of the time, that is what they need. They need somebody in their ear that is telling them that they're a fucking moron, you know? Be like, the decision you are making right now is one of the dumbest things you could possibly do for this company, and you're going to ruin the company by doing it. They need somebody to be willing to say that to them, because let's just take your example of this person, this executive who like backed Suicide Squad, because I'm sure there is somebody at WB who was like way behind that game and was like, this is going to be our big game, you know,
this
this
is
is
gonna
going
be
to
our
be our live
Fortnite.
service game, this is our destiny or whatever, you know. I'm sure there was some executive doing that with that game for fucking 9 years or however long it fucking took to make. And let's take that guy, and like me and you, who aren't executives, we've never run companies, right? But we know video games, right? And we know the community. And dude, if we were in a room with them and we were allowed to speak our mind truthfully, we would have told them, dude, you even pursuing this game at all is stupid. You're an idiot. Like, you like, okay, you might make money off this game, but I don't think it's going to succeed because there's not an appetite for it. People don't want this. You know, they don't want this from Rocksteady specifically. If you had made some random studio you have that isn't Rocksteady make this game, it might be okay. You know, like it might not be,
That's
it might not be met with as much derision, but you made Rocksteady, who's known for single player Batman games, make a live service Destiny clone. What the fuck are you thinking? You know?
And I think that's another thing that companies don't really get. Um, that is actually a really good point that I've heard no one say. Um, you are a company that's known for making X, for
Mm-hmm.
making this X product, and
Yeah.
then you come out and you make a Y product, and people are like, "What the fuck? You do X product really fucking well. We didn't want a Y product from you."
Yeah.
I think, like you said, if Rocksteady wasn't attached to that Suicide Squad label, the game actually the product would have been better. Like,
It
no
would have been
joke.
received better, maybe.
It would have been,
right?
yeah,
Like,
there you go. It
yeah.
would have been received better. And I think,
Yeah.
you know what? The only company that gets this is the Pokemon company. Game Freak is not doing Pokemon ZX or ZY or ZA rather.
Yeah,
I'm
ZA,
sorry.
yeah. ZA.
It's the Pokemon company doing ZA. Game Freak has their own mainline product that they're doing.
Yeah.
Because what if Arceus wasn't good? You know what I'm saying? Everybody, well, why did Game Freak
It
waste
wasn't
it?
Yeah, it wasn't Game Freak, so you know,
Yeah,
move on,
exactly.
right? In
Move on.
in this particular case, yeah,
Exactly. And I think that's a brilliant strategy to have, like you said, Rocksteady, who's known for making the Arkham games. I don't know anyone who doesn't like the Arkham games. Whether you
bro, they
maybe
made a combat style like that. Literally, people copy to this day, bro.
exactly,
like straight up. Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's like you take the studio and you make them now, whether they want to do that or not. This is the other part of that situation too, right? It's like EA and BioWare. How BioWare had Anthem, right? And EA was like, cool. Like, and then we find out that BioWare, I think they actually wanted to do Anthem. Anthem was like their baby for a while. Yeah. And BioWare, EA was like, cool. No one in the executive wing was like, guys, but you really don't do multiplayer games, like, at all. Like, your shit is RPGs. Now,
nobody had the balls.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if you wanted to take like a subsection of that team and like break them down, like this small team, make Anthem. That's what y'all can do right there. Everybody else, make another Mass Effect or Dragon Age game, single player game. We need those type of hits, right? That's okay. But like,
to take the whole studio,
dedicate and dedicated.
Years of
That's
time.
wild
Years
to
of
me.
time.
And then
No,
just
and
immediately killed the game.
BioWare's ruined. Dude, BioWare's ruined because of it. Rocksteady, they're probably ruined because of this, bro. Like, whatever they come out with next, which apparently is another Batman game, it's like too little too late. Who cares? Nobody's
Well,
gonna care in 2030 when Batman fucking Arkham, I don't know, Arkham Underground comes out, you know? It's like, bro, it's like 15 years since the last game. I don't know. Maybe people will care, but it's like, I think the industry will have moved on. We'll be like, bro, you made this game 3 times already, and they were better than this one you're making now. It's like that's the future I see for Rocksteady. And it's like, you're right, BioWare is the same way. And then the mismanagement Sony's been doing with their studios. I don't have a problem as much with Sony doing what they're trying to do with the live service stuff. I think it made sense strategically for them to try to make one, right? Because if they put it on PlayStation, they get 100% of the revenue from it. Whereas with Fortnite and other people's, they only get 30, right, on their platform. So that made sense for them to chase that as a platform holder. But their mismanagement of like Naughty Dog specifically, I'm still mad that we didn't get The Last of Us Online in some form, you know? That Sony just decided, shut it down. We don't want to deal with it. Rather than, like, to me, they should have taken a small part of the Naughty Dog team, like 15 or 20 people, and set them up at a new studio that developed The Last of Us Online once it was an actual game that was released and they were making content for it, you know? And that's how they support the game. They spin up a new studio that isn't Naughty Dog, you know, and they let Naughty Dog continue to make single player games, and they have this like satellite studio that's run by people from Naughty Dog that worked on the game. So they maintain that quality of content that you would expect from a Naughty Dog game, but it's not actually being made from Naughty Dog. I don't understand why that didn't happen. Why they just shut it down. They just canceled it outright. And the whole thing with Naughty Dog saying like, "Oh, we would have had to change who we are as a studio." It's like, bro, why? Like, does no one like? Is no one thinking about alternatives at these companies? I don't understand. Like, why is it so black and white to you? It's like, it doesn't have to be you, Naughty Dog. Like, you could have spun up a team to do the support work for this game post live. I don't understand. Like, I'm confused. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't have worked out. You know, maybe it wouldn't have been as high quality as what Naughty Dog proper would have made. And maybe eventually that would have been a problem and it would have hurt the game and the game would have shut down. But goddamn, you would have released the game and made money off of it at least. You know? It's like, I don't understand. And we're never gonna get that game now because of that mismanagement and the like lack of at least exploring these options. And you know what? I'm not in Naughty Dog. Maybe Sony and Naughty Dog did explore these options, but based on what they told us, it doesn't sound like they did, you know? And I just like, I don't know. It's just frustrating because the rumors around that game, like The Last of Us Online, was that it was fucking excellent. Like, it was a great game. It was going to be a great game, you know? And like, it's so frustrating that we lose that. And even with Hogwarts Legacy, I'm not like the biggest fan of this game. I enjoyed it, what I played of it. But dude, there are 34 million people bought this game. I think a lot of people love this fucking game. And the fact that they're not going to get a fucking DLC because what Warner was like, oh, we can't charge 50 for it. We have to charge 30. What the fuck are you? What do you mean? That is such a dumb reason to cancel a project.
Well,
You know?
I think the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest victims of this is Avalanche Software themselves. They pulled off a monumental win.
Dude,
like,
they did it. They did it, bro.
They finally
took
made
Harry
a good
Potter
game.
They did it. You know? Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, bro. The only game I know from them is 2 games I know from them, which is TAC or TAC.
Yep.
That was like, you know, the 3D adventure game or a 3D platforming game.
Yep.
And then NCAA college football 2K. That's the only time I remember them.
Mad Max. They made a Mad Max game too.
They made a Mad Max game
that was supposedly really good, actually.
Okay. So like that's all I know from them, right? And it's like, and I think they did. Yeah, they did. I think they did a port of Prince of Persia: Arabian Nights to Dreamcast, I believe.
Jesus, that's far back.
Yeah, but like, that's what I'm saying though. Like, oh, I think they did. They worked on Ultimate Marvel Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 with Midway because they did a lot of Midway games actually. I'm looking at some of the discography right now. So I don't know, man. Like,
oh, they made Disney Infinity actually as well.
Oh, they did, didn't they? That's
Yeah,
true.
They were the Disney Infinity studio.
And that was a hit. And they got screwed over with that shit.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. This studio, I feel bad for the studio, dude.
Yeah, bro. Oh my, I forgot all about Disney Infinity.
Bro, they made NFL Blitz? No, they didn't. NFL Blitz 2000?
Yeah. They were
Holy
with Midway.
shit.
They were
okay,
under
they got some bona fides, bro. Holy shit. Okay. Damn. But yeah, Disney Infinity.
Yeah, DJ loved that fucking game. And I was like, I didn't even know. I played it with DJ
great
a
things
lot.
about it.
Yeah, I played it with DJ.
Dude.
I played it with DJ a lot. Because we both had figurines, but I just came over his house and played the figurines over on his house or whatever. But yeah, like that's what I'm saying, bro. The last game they made was Cars 3. like what are we
doing?
Like, this studio is super talented, bro, and you made them make Cars 3, and then they come out and give you a banger.
A Hogwarts Legacy, dude, from Cars 3. What are we doing, bro? Yeah, no, that's fucking nuts. That's actually nuts, dude. Like, so I don't know. I agree with you too. Like, I feel bad for the studio too, because it's like it's gotta piss them off. They've been working on this DLC probably since the game came out, you know, and that was like 2 years ago now, and they've got nothing to show for it. They don't get to release it. Like, what the fuck? Well, like, how stupid is that?
If I was this company, they didn't win an award too, by the way, at all. I don't think in the Game Awards, right? They didn't win anything.
Well,
right?
They got snubbed because of the IP, because of Rowling, bro.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I'll be pissed off about.
True. Yeah, they've been mistreated because of that. Also, yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting the recognition you deserve. The creator that you're working with, is being an asshole. Whether you agree with her or not, it's still like, you know, you've been an asshole. You're affecting our brand as well.
Well, you're bearing the brunt of it for no reason, just by association. Right?
Exactly. So, and on top of that, like your owners or whatever are also being assholes. So I made one of the highest grossing games, one of the highest grossing games of all time, not the highest grossing, but one of the highest grossing games of all time, up there with fucking GTA and fucking Call of Duty. Yeah. I made that coming off the back of Cars 3. I would be, if I was the head of the studio, I'm like, yo, you need to sell us. Somebody need to buy us. Yeah. Or we just go independent or something, bro. This is insane, you know? And I also had to think too, right? I wonder how much J.K. Rowling is getting of that cut of the $2.3 billion, $2.4 billion, right? I'm pretty sure she's getting a hefty cut of that. Yeah. But still, bro, like maybe she made like 500 million or something like that. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Like, so I don't know, man. Like, I just feel I like every time I see Hogwarts Legacy come up, it doesn't get the respect it deserves. No one actually talks about the studio that makes it. And it's kind of like crazy how no one's like, Avalanche pulled something, like you said, pulled something up that we thought was next to damn near impossible to do. Make a good Harry Potter game. Even though like we were like not really jiving with it well, it was still a decent Harry Potter game. Like, it captured the spirit of Harry Potter through and through. And I'm not even a Harry Potter fan like that. I came to Harry Potter like in 2020. So
oh, man. Do you want to know what the highest grossing game of all time is?
I know it's gonna be like a Call of Duty game. So what is it?
It's not actually. So according to IGN, it's Tetris.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. So this is based off. So Tetris, this Tetris number is based off. Apparently, they released Tetris on mobile. The Tetris company did, like the original Tetris. They released it on mobile, and that's where most of these numbers are coming from. 425 million of 520 million copies sold are coming from mobile. Okay, so I guess it's Tetris, but next up is Minecraft at 300 million, dude.
That's
and then
crazy.
Grand Theft Auto 5 at 210 million
copies sold.
Yes, sir. Dude, if you don't think, dude, this is what I'm talking about with GTA 6. Dude, whenever they announce the release date for that game, this is the reason we're not hearing about any games right now. Because until Rockstar and 2K announce the release date of Grand Theft Auto 6 and it is set in stone and people feel confident about it, you're not going to hear any release dates because they don't want to be anywhere near GTA. Like, you don't even want to be within 3 months of that fucking game, probably.
That's crazy.
Whenever that game comes out, like, I guarantee you all the heavy hitters are going to clear out. They're all going to move to the spring, or they're going to try to push up to the summer. If it comes out in like November or something, like there's just no way GTA is going to clean house, bro. Like, even COD might move their fucking date, you know? Like, that's how big GTA is, you know? So yeah, no, GTA 5 is fucking crazy, man.
I didn't know it
it's
sold that
insane.
much. That's fucking insane, dude. Holy
No, and
shit.
dude, and this is probably not a success for Rockstar by their metrics, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is on this list at 70 million copies sold.
What?
Red Dead Redemption 2, man. Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about that game, though. So
I mean, yeah, but dude, it's a single player game.
True. I mean, it does have an online mode. That one, it has an online mode too.
Yeah. So Hogwarts Legacy at 34 million, you know, is kind of in like the 20s all time. But dude, that's impressive as fuck, you know, for a game nowadays.
For a licensed game by that.
In 2 years, by the way, also, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's I feel bad for Avalanche too. It's disappointing. It's kind of stupid. It's like, I don't know why I'm getting so worked up about it. I just think the reasoning that Jason's giving in this Bloomberg article, like, if this is the real reason, like, this just feels so dumb, you know? Oh, we can't charge 50 for it, so let's cancel it. What? Like, oh, we can't make as much money as we hoped we would make, so we're just gonna cancel it so we can write it down for tax write-off, you know? It's like, bro, what a waste of work and talent, you know? Such a waste, dude. So, I don't know. All right, enough of that. Let's move on. We got one more story, Montrell, and this one's for us. You know, I don't think anybody listening to this is really going to care besides us. But this was announced yesterday. Archon Studios, who are a tabletop game maker, they announced that they are making a StarCraft tabletop miniatures game coming out next year. And then there will be a board game, multiple board games, it sounds like, set in the StarCraft universe in 2027. So, Montreal, you ready? You excited? StarCraft miniatures game? Like, this sounds like Warhammer-ish, maybe?
Yeah. I can't wait for it. This will probably be the first game I do to fucking you know, reserve and
you get the Kickstarter.
Get the Kickstarter and everything.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
I just want anything StarCraft, and then y'all got me into tabletop or board games in general. I haven't played a proper tabletop game yet, but like, I got me.
Jet got you into Warhammer. You bought like a Warhammer army, didn't you?
Yeah, I still haven't set it up yet, but yeah, I do have a Warhammer army. So.
Well, I don't. You guys have been trying to get me into Warhammer, and I haven't wanted to do it. But this is that a StarCraft version of Warhammer 40K. I'll buy that.
Yeah,
probably in on that. I'll probably in on that, dude. Like, that sounds sick, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I hope they announce it and it's like really good too.
Yeah, we'll see. Archon's actually, from my experience, pretty good. They did the Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game, actually, which is really, in my opinion, pretty faithful to the video game. And does a good job of translating it to an actual tabletop game. So, so yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I don't know. I think this might be in the right hands to get something good out of it. So we'll see. Exciting though. It's funny. We send articles to each other all the time, and this is one of the ones I've set. I feel like there aren't a lot. We don't generally have a lot of like excited reactions when we do that, and this is one of the few times like I said this, and you guys were like, "Oh shit," you know, like "Holy fuck." You know, so
yeah,
like,
we did all say that. When you
True
said
actual
when you put that in
excitement.
there, I was like, did I read that right? Holy shit, I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy that shit.
Yeah, dude. So it's funny the things we get excited about. But all right. Let's move on to guess the Metascore. So following up on last week, we had done Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I just wanted to follow up to see the user scores because we had guessed that it wasn't available yet because the game hadn't yet come out.
Yeah.
We were both wrong. So we were pretty negative.
Yes,
Both
we
of
were.
us.
Yep.
And it's sitting at a 6 right now, which is not as bad as I was expecting. I figured the the quote anti woke group would bomb the shit out of this game, but that does not appear to have happened. So I guess the 4.8, you guess the 3. I'm technically closer, but I think we were both off pretty far in
Yeah.
the spirit of what we're doing here. So I wouldn't really give either of us a win personally. So yeah, not too bad.
I will say, I'm actually impressed with like the gaming community. I think I think this game, like not the game itself, right? But I think this game in general is kind of signaling people are like pushing back against like actually politics getting into the gaming and stuff like that. People are like, all right, we really do want politics out of our games, but like we don't want it. We're not saying it in like the anti woke way. We're just tired of the whole conversation in general, and we just want to play good games. Like
get the
I mean,
culture war out of here.
Yeah. How me and you are. We just want to play good games, regardless of like whatever the case may be.
Platform or subject matter, exactly.
Yep. Exactly. And I think I'm actually impressed, to be honest with you. I personally do think Assassin's Creed looks good. I'm not gonna buy, like I said, I wasn't gonna buy it first day. I'm probably gonna buy it during the summertime, when I have a little bit more free time. But yeah, I'm impressed by the online community. Like people were like pushing back against certain content creators and stuff like that, who try to like rage bait. I think people, I'm impressed by people aren't falling for the rage bait. That's what I'm impressed by. So big ups to a lot of people who are just like, I just want to play the fucking game, bro. If the game's good, I'm going to fucking play it. So yeah, I'm actually thoroughly impressed by the game, and by the game itself. I'm actually thoroughly impressed at some of the changes they made and everything of that nature. It still looks really Assassin's Creedy, like Origins and Odyssey-ish. But it does look really fun. I wouldn't pay full money for it though, but I am gonna get it like when it's on sale.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Montrell. That's all we had today. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get off?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. Well, if you guys like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please subscribe to us on YouTube as well. If you would like to interact with the show on Twitter, you can do so at The Player's Take, where you can send us questions we will answer on the show, or you can send those questions to us in email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And we will certainly answer those on the show. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next week. Bye.